The Fast Life podcast is brought to you by my helmet of choice, Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. Head on over to simpsonmotorcyclehelmets.com, check out all the models, finishes, and visor options, and get yourself dialed in with one of the best helmets on the market. BoostedBrad.com is a great place to find some badass products for your motorcycle, such as bar and riser setups, different types of pegs, mid controls, quick detached sissy bar setups for FXRs and early model Dynas. Brad has a product for any budget. Check out all the products and badass apparel. Use Fast Life at checkout and save yourself 5%. And give Brad a follow on Instagram at BoostedBrad. Dream Rides is the spot if you're looking to have anything done to your Harley Davidson. John Jessup is a great friend of mine and an even better guy to do business with. His shop in Stockton, California is the spot for in-house dyno tuning, parts, service, and bike sales. And if nothing else, head on over to teamdreamrides.com, which is offering 100 days, same as cash financing on all products. All you need is a job and a bank account. And don't forget to give John and the team a follow at DreamRidesJohn on Instagram. Lexan Moto is growing fast and looking to onboard new dealers in 2020. So whether you're a small independent shop or a 20,000 square foot megastore, Lexan Moto has a partnership that will work for you. With awesome new gear and more on the way, Lexan offers very competitive dealer margins, fast shipping, and great customer service. Email them at sales@lexanmotorcycle.com and be sure to check them out on Facebook at Lexan Moto USA and Instagram at Lexan Moto. Don't forget to use the code FASTLIFE at checkout for 15% off your entire order. It's 2020, it's winter, and it's time to upgrade that bike with one of the best mods you can do, a ThunderMax computer upgrade. Its ability to auto-tune to your bike's upgrades and riding conditions without the need of a dyno make it, in my opinion, a superior product. Do you want to install your own cam or big bore kit but don't have access to a dyno or a dyno tuner? Then ThunderMax is your go-to for reliable performance. To check out their ECM applications and many other products to give your Harley-Davidson some new life, head on over to shoptmax.com and follow ThunderMax EFI on Instagram. Paint Huffer Metal Flake is the flake of choice by many, if not all, top painters in the world. Check out painthuffer.com to see the vast amount of color options and many other products to help you in the custom paint process. And don't forget to use FastLife12 at checkout for 10% off. Get yourself our new flake, Champagne Daddy, which is a perfect mid-tone between silver and gold. Give Paint Huffer Metal Flake a follow on Instagram as well. Thanks, guys. Big Bear Performance is the go-to for high-quality performance products for your Harley-Davidson, along with being the industry leader in Olin suspension sales, service, and tuning. Check out BigBearPerformance.com, and you can always give Kevin a call and get the info and answers for your motorcycle's upgrades at 909-479-7788. And give them a follow at Big Bear Choppers on Instagram. Welcome back to the podcast, folks. We are the last one of the month, and then we have a plethora to release next month. This is the beginning of our California trip that me and my wife took to see her brother down in San Diego and her father and other relatives up in the LA area. First podcast we did was with San Diego Customs here. A great time, fucking awesome shop and awesome dudes out there. They do some really badass work and very entertaining. The whole area of the San Diego Customs, just where they're at, it's just full of excitement, to say the least. If you're not following these guys on Instagram, man, you're fucking up, straight up. Also, we have a winner for the Boosted Brad, care package giveaway, but we're not going to say shit till the end of the podcast. So stay tuned for that. And anyway, I'm just going to jump right into it. Here is San Diego Customs, Chip, Mikey, and a special guest, the one and only Danny G.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
This keeps going, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yo. This ain't shit. You don't have to try too hard to get a fucking argument out of these guys.
Well, shit, guys. Thank you for coming in on your days off.
No problem. It's not. We don't have days off.
Yeah, I mean that's the reality, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, not really.
Put
Sundays.
Put your phone on mute.
Fuck off.
Yeah, buddy. Gee, put your phone on mute. No Instagramming while talking. Let's move this party into full.
Look at Chip trying to reel us in.
Hell, let's do it.
no.
I like it, man. I'm
Like,
fucking
yeah,
digging it, man.
Yeah, the most unprofessional motherfucker on the planet is trying to be all
He's about to roll
professional.
a joint and fall asleep right now.
I'm not going to fall asleep, but I have this already rolled up.
He's ready for it. Smells good as shit. I know we can't talk about it, or I don't know what we said about it.
Well, we can talk about
Smells-
pot.
talk about
smells
pot.
delicious.
Yeah, let's just not talk about anything else of having to do
There we
with
go.
pot.
Well, anyway, San Diego Customs, the umbrella for you two guys, right? So, Mikey,
Yes.
Chip.
Yes, sir.
Like I was telling Danny G here, who's also on the mics, what I want to do with this is, man, like, you know, y'all are both kind of transplants here to this place, right? San Diego, for the most part.
Correct.
Yes.
Not in a bad. I'm not saying in a bad way, but just like
we both
No,
are.
I'm from the East Coast. Mike's from South Africa.
yeah. So I wanted to kind of get that and the convergence, and then we'll fuck it up.
Danny
from there.
G too. He's not. He's from.
Well, actually, me and
Jersey.
Danny got we have
Danny
Gage.
G's from space.
Want to talk
This
about
this
space?
podcast here is about San Diego Customs.
Yeah. Because me and him are gonna link up in a day or so and do some more
I'm here for like story assistance and
filler.
some other shit. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank
he's
you
B-roll.
for gracing us with your presence. Wow, Mike,
Honored.
cut him a check.
Yeah.
For no reason.
So, like I said, I want to give people kind of a background of where you guys both started as yourselves and into motorcycle shit, and then how that progressed. So, you know, whichever one of you guys want to take the helm on that motherfucker.
You go first, Chip.
Here we go.
I used to sling weed and ride my skateboard a lot, and that got me to San Diego.
So that's a short version.
Well, that's how I got. That's how I got to San Diego.
Oh
was
yeah,
slinging weed
but you're
and
from.
skateboarding.
You said you're from PA, right?
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm from the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania.
And so skateboarding, yeah, that pretty much is what brought everybody from the Midwest and East Coast to California.
Did you
in the
fuck with
90s.
motorcycles at all in Pennsylvania?
Nah, no. I had a sport bike, but that was given to me from my local weed dealer because I brought some grass home. I don't know if this is legal. I guess it is because it's like 25 years ago. Yeah, fuck
yeah,
it,
for
man.
sure.
I brought a bunch of weed home on a bus, and my payment was a half ounce of what is now considered, you know, top shelf hydro bud,
Hydro.
kind bud, whatever the fuck he called it back then, and a motorcycle, which was a ZX, I think it was a ZX7 or a ZX5. I don't remember either one, but that was my first motorcycle. And then my first Harley was a Sportster. I moved out here to do what I said earlier, and that game got kind of hectic, so you kind of know when to stop doing it because you don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
Needed a job, applied at a bunch of Harley dealers and sport bike dealers and basically any dealer just to get in my foot in the door. Got a job at a Harley dealer in Oceanside as not even a detailer, like a lot tech.
It was the dick washer.
Yeah, I was a fucking
The dick
knob
cleaner.
polisher.
Knob
That's all I
polisher.
did. Is
Yeah.
I polished
Dick
knobs
cleaner.
and I moved around heavy things. Yeah.
What year time frame was this?
This was in like probably 2002, and then moved in from lot tech to detailer to parts to service parts to service
This was
writer.
all in a week.
Yeah, it was amazing. No, it was over the course
phenomenal.
of probably 2 or 3 years until Harley always thins the herd, and I was running the service department, not as like a manager, but as a 4-person, because all the techs actually knew the business, and I was just, like the service writer and the only guy there. So you have a multitude of jobs. Then they closed the dealership because they sold it, and they asked me to go to the next dealership, and I just couldn't do that. So over the interim of that, in about 2006 is when I started San Diego Customs as like a blog, just to show things that I was doing, chopper shit basically, because it was the tail end of the chopper era. And then we moved into
That was out of your garage in
Mira
Rancho
Mesa.
Bernardo or something. Where was
Mira
that?
Mesa.
Mira Mesa.
Oh wow, we forgot to actually shut our shop. If you guys hear that chime, it's because we're still open for business right now. We'll be more than happy to help you. After that,
So you started for the like a chopper blog basically. So were you riding a fucking chopper at the time or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a chopper. Still have it. It's the one that's up there on top of the roof, the West Coast chopper. That was the first bike I actually built from scratch.
Nice.
And then I also had an FXDX, a 99 FXDX, which is also out in the showroom. That went through a few eras of customization phases, the chopper phase, the Harley phase when you're working at a Harley dealership and you have access to all those accessories, and then into what is now whatever phase you want to call it, black bike fairing phase. In the interim, I met Danny G through when we started this company called Death Squad. My friend Big Chris started this company and asked us for our help, and that helped kind of set the pace of the black bike era, FXRs and panel paint jobs and all that stuff. A couple of years later, after Death Squad, we bumped into the Unknown guys and realized we all kind of were into the same shit and had mutual friends, and we're all into.
They came down here to film, and that day is legendary. Like we all hit the streets. It was just raw as shit. Like there was no real plan, and it was like instant. It reminded me of the old skateboard days. You meet a skateboarder, and you're like, oh, this is my people. You wind up, you're friends with that. You're going to be friends with these people from the get. And that's the way the Unknown guys were for us. It was like instantly good friends. We went and fucked shit up and in the streets and got the cops called on us. And, we rolled in the old San Diego Harley, they didn't appreciate the entrance and exit. But, dude, that was
it seems like
classic.
From an outside perspective looking in, it seems like San Diego Harley has always kind of been like on the scene. Like, are they like ingrained with you guys the way they kind of portray themselves, or they
eventually they did?
Okay,
not going way back.
Yeah,
like I said, they did call the cops on us that one day.
It goes in waves, like depending on what's going on in the industry, what budget cuts are being in place, like at dealerships around the country, how many bike sales are selling, what the team is like, what team is actually there.
Yeah,
Harley Davidson is notorious for dealership to dealership trading personnel, whether it's interstate or inter.
I know a couple of dudes that do real well, and they get some nice perks by traveling around and
absolutely
and doing shit like that.
You get bored at one dealership, you get a better offer from another, and then you just keep moving around.
There's guys that are building their name up, which never happened before, but there's guys now that are actually building their name up by working at a Harley dealership and then going out on their own. Guys like Danny Wilson, from Buddy Stubbs. So that's something before where in the early days, everybody at the Harley dealerships were a bunch of fucking idiots. All the dealerships sucked. We all avoided them. Now there's ones that are really good, like San Diego Harley, El Cajon Harley School. Quaid has been great.
Yeah, I've seen they've been really
fucking
on it.
Plug Central.
But that's what I
plug.
There's just good people
guys,
there,
Just send everything to G.
Yeah.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
I don't need any more. Don't send me no more free shit. I got nowhere to keep it. Everybody stop doing that.
Wow, holy ball.
I got way too
trying
much
to collect
free
checks
shit.
now. He's got to pay for that fancy new truck, man.
Yeah. Man, you ball
Is this a good time
hard.
for me to announce? I actually don't know if I could say it or not, but Rockford actually, remember how that story worked out where you guys laughed at me for asking for money? They laughed at me for asking for money from Rockford. I get a paycheck from Rockford now.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't
I won't
say
say
that.
I won't say how much it is, but Rockford is paying me right now.
Where's my phone? I'm
And there
putting
you
the
go.
kibosh on that shit
There you
right
go.
now, dude.
Always,
Because
Fuck.
hey,
always shoot for the stars, man. You never know. You never know.
Right now.
Yeah.
We'll get to the bottom of this.
put
Go ahead,
phone in.
call Tammy.
We're going to
call
call
her.
Tammy.
All right.
I'm going to text her first right now.
For those listening, Mike has his phone out, and we are calling.
Being honest, it's
one
not
of the
the
main
amount
people
that I
at Rockford
originally
just
asked
to call
them for,
Danny G out.
but I am getting money from Rockford. Where I
Wait,
was
you
told,
just said you were getting
where
a
I was
paycheck.
told, Danny G, you will never be a money guy. You will never get paid. They will send you free shit, but you're not a money dude.
Yeah.
Well, I'm cashing checks from Rockford.
But they
Fosgate
said that to you.
tomorrow.
But they said that to you, and they're the ones giving you the check. So that's kind of ironic.
I don't know. I feel like the whole world kind of told me that.
Well, you know what really is like to reel that back in. Like what's really happening is that a lot of our industry and the surrounding parts of it, the satellites that aren't really fully motorcycle embraced, they're starting to kind of realize that we have a fucking vast group of people or vast amount of people that are just as good as your fucking regular vlogger and your Instagram star. Like, what the fuck do you think all these shops, like you guys, myself, like, what do you think we do all day? We help usher in trends and styles and make them popular.
The guys like us, we don't plug every fucking free thing that gets sent to us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that I actually politely decline.
Hey, hold on a second.
Yeah, what free shit are you talking about?
We don't get anything fucking free, man. Like, you can go ahead and give me that. Look,
Are you fucking kidding me? You guys get nothing for free?
We get things on.
Point something out. Point something out inside here.
He's going to point something out that
we got for
probably
free.
did get for free, and we're just not realizing it. But you
guys can
Expensive motorcycle Harley makes.
Well, hey,
Everyone, I'm pointing at a brand new. What year is that?
it's a Sevo
2019, 2020
fucking 2023 fucking
$46,000
CVO, not even out yet.
Yeah, but we're gonna make that into a cooler bike.
No, but here's the deal. And that's the thing. It's not free shit, you know? Like, yeah, that isn't free because Harley, San Diego.
Hey, coaster. Dude, what the fuck?
Respect the wood, dude. What the fuck?
Look at this. Okay, Larry David, it's a ring on a wood table.
All right, since there's no cameras, G has a Dunkin' Donuts 40-ounce cup of iced coffee, like anybody needs that shit. And it just left a ring on our nice wooden podcast table.
Thought this was a motorcycle shop.
Yeah, well, this is a table, not a.
This is a fancy ass table, though.
It's a table.
nice.
It's not a motorcycle. It's
You know what? Now we have a memory. I just created a memory right there on the table.
It's kind of true.
Oh man.
All right, so you were doing we can go down that rabbit hole too in a minute, but you were doing the Harley thing, and so around that time you started doing that blog. Like, what was your fucking like motivation to do that? It was just the internet was kind of fresh in that world.
The internet was fresh. Kind of the same shit we do now, just whatever our daily grind was, and we were just. It was the end of the chopper phase, which was kind of crazy in California. I mean, there was lots of funny things to post on the internet, which really aren't politically correct nowadays, and you really couldn't get away with it. It's kind of why the blog disappeared. And then it kind of just has been a wild ride since then. San Diego Customs then was in my garage, and then it had moved to. I had to move out of the house that I started in. Was there for about 12 years.
Why actually did you move though? What made you make that? It was because you ran out of room.
I asked the landlord if I could replace the carpets, and I was going to pay the bill, and they said no, we're moving back in. And I was like, fuck, well, that didn't work. I should have never called about the carpets and probably would still be there.
Yeah.
But then I found the house that I live in now, and I moved everything there. And that was in 2012. And that's when I built a FXR with Matt Barker. And that was the first bike that had been on the cover of Hot Bike, which was the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You built Jamie's bike first, didn't you?
Jamie's bike was on the cover of Hot Bike.
Oh.
That's what I meant. Yeah, but
Jamie's bike was out of the house too, right?
yeah, Jamie's bike was out of the first house. That was Death Squad days. Before it got silly. And then we moved to Tomieto, which was 2001 Commercial Street.
Mm-hmm.
And
So that's Foundation, Pig Wheels, Toy Machine. If people don't know, Tomieto was the biggest skateboard manufacturer, distributor in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
is it the biggest?
I think they are, yeah. Down in our area, our neck of the woods.
Well, we had a space there. It was 1,000 square feet, and I had a different partner at the time who kind of just needed to go, and he kind of went. Mikey came in, and that's when it really started popping off. When we, because I don't know anything about business. Not that Mike does, but he knows a little bit more than most people. And we just teamed up, and ever since then, it's been a wild ride.
Which was a crazy move then too, because he's created overhead for himself. And you got to think back then, this was before it got big.
Yeah.
It was a very small group
Pre-Sons
of people
Anarchy?
Pre-Sons Anarchy, yeah.
So it was like there's a small group of people that rode bikes like that, and that's where his focus was. Even though
pre-Sons, son.
Yeah. So I thought it was crazy, man. And I remember thinking the spot was all like what we're in now is like this pretty big spot, for a specialty motorcycle shop. But I remember being like, when he first opened the door, I was like, oh shit, man, this is crazy. Like, how many fucking Dynas and FXR?
Yeah, but there was 1,000 square feet, and the rent was like $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
That
wasn't bad at all.
That wasn't bad
Not
at
for
all.
And then we got a little bit more.
Then it went to 1,800 square feet, and then our rent was $2,000 a month.
Yeah, so it
That still
worked
ain't
out.
bad.
No,
For out here.
but like,
It was as hood as it can get here.
yeah, but the homeless issue down there got so bad that we were literally shooting bottle rockets at homeless people every day.
Yeah,
not homeless people, professional vagrants.
Yeah, professional vagrants. Yeah,
these aren't people down on their luck. These are people that want to be out there. Shitting on your stoop
with iPads and iPhones and charging stations and Wi-Fi, living in a tent under a bridge.
Big difference. These are people working the system.
So that got so bad that we had to move, and it literally took 6 months to find somewhere where we could afford and somewhere that was central.
And you actually didn't say how you got here.
Yeah, we're about to get into that.
Airplane.
But then
take a boat.
In true San Diego customs fashion, they move across the street from the creepiest jerk-off shop in the freaking world, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So they can't. You just can't escape the madness,
creeps,
you know?
Yeah.
So how did you? What was your draw to come to America in the first place?
I came here in '95. Like me and 5 friends, we was skateboarding and punk rock. You know, like we came over here for vacation. We bought a '73 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, drove around California, going to all the different skate spots and going to punk rock shows. And I was back home for a month, and I was like, "Fuck that!" Man, I scraped up enough money. I bought a plane ticket. I had $250, a backpack, and my skateboard, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm moving to California." And I just moved over here.
Man, that's kind of been some of the topic of conversation in some of our podcasts recently is like being able to do that shit just mentally, just like fuck it, I'm done with this place and go and just. I mean, I remember back in the late '90s, like following skateboarders and stuff like that, and just seeing how a lot of people were kind of migrating towards California just for the sponsorships and things like that was taking place, and but. Like I said, there takes a lot of balls just to leave your hometown. For some people, you know what I mean. They get trapped in those places and shit. So
California's always been known as a hard place to make it to. Wherever you're coming from, people will tell you like, "Oh, that's a tough place to go."
Nah, dude. Nah,
hard place to make
go
it.
anywhere else in the world and see how fucking hard it is, and then come here. It's fucking easy, dude. Like it's way different. It's way different from the rest of the world. Like. I started. I had nothing when I moved here. I've had 3 or 4 different businesses in that time. You know, like granted, none of them have been a crazy success, but I mean, like we're not balling.
Your other business was a pretty good success.
Well, that's debatable, but
on paper.
Yeah, on paper it was. Yeah, but I mean, I ended up staying, and I ended up getting married, and I did all the legal shit, the right way and all that, and everything worked out.
So yeah, it's cool. There's so much distractions.
I know. Sorry, man.
No, that's all good. That's not a big deal. But no, it just fucks up my train of thought because I'm still in a place where I'm like, fuck, oh, that's cool. So it's like trying to focus my shit into. But no, that's pretty fucking ballsy, man. Like just to do that, especially from another country. I'm talking about dudes in fucking, just fucking Midwest that don't have the balls to kind of just.
But
jump.
I think it's different when you're younger, though. I was 21 years old. Like you don't
give a fuck at 21.
You're stupid at 21, man. Like if my kid's 18 now, if he wanted to take off and go to another country, I'd fucking smack him upside his head. I mean, what the fuck you thinking? Like, no, dude.
But times have changed too.
Yeah, that's
different.
true. Yes,
things are way different.
Way different.
So when you got here, was you just basically skating and just fucking? Because I know a lot of people used to kind of like they'd have houses where all these fucking people would just kind of crash and stay.
I'd met some chick down by the beach.
That's the way you make it. Yeah, pretty much.
I had met some chick down by the beach, and she was like, "Oh, come and live with me." So I lived with her for a while, and then I ended up sleeping on another dude's couch for months, and I found a job at one point, and I was cooking Philly cheesesteaks at some joint at the beach called PB Weenie from midnight till 4 a.m. That was my first job. It sucked, but fuck it. Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, you know? So
worked at a place with Weenie in the title.
And while sleeping on a dude's couch.
And
the story comes together.
And it sucked.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is his time to shine, guys. Like they're trying to weenie it up.
It's all good.
He goes straight to the gauge.
There's no peace in this fucking building, dude, at all. You got to watch every word that fucking comes out of your mouth.
Nah.
So I did that. Then I worked at I found another South African guy in a screen printing company and a skateboard company. I ended up working for him for quite a while. Then started an apparel company. That went good for a while, and then kind of got screwed on that one and moved on and did a few other things, and then met up with Chip and we started San Diego Customs.
So were you into the bikes before that or what?
Yeah, I always had bikes. When I was little, I had a little dirt bike. That was my first motorcycle. When I was a teenager, I traded a car for a CB 750, I think. And I used to rip around on that thing. And then I ended up moving here. And then I didn't have bikes for a little bit. And then I ended up with I don't know, what was my Dyna? What did I have? It was a 99. Also,
FXDX,
same as yours. Yeah, I had a 99 FXDX. And then I met Chip because Barker, our buddy Barker, was like, hey man, let's get your motor done. We went over to Chip's house and Chip did it. And that was, I don't even know what year that was.
That was a while ago.
That was a long ass time ago. Yeah.
Shit, time flies, man.
Yeah, that was a long ass time ago. And then we did that. And then me and Barker were actually the ones that were like, hey man, you need to move the fuck out of your garage and move into a space. So Barker was like, hey, we got the spot at Tamyaru. So Chip moved in there, had another partner who was a total fucking lame. So we got rid of him, and then we started the parts, and it was real slow at first.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because there was nothing else in the industry except for Death Squad, pretty much, you know, especially in this, well, it's not a small circle anymore, but like I hate to say it, but the whole club style
Performance.
thing.
So the whole Sons of Anarchy thing, right?
Yeah, pre-SOA.
So then that show came out, and we just knew we had to live that lifestyle.
That's fucking ain't right.
Well, I mean, in the early days of all this whole shit, it was, I mean, Big Chris, who was doing Death Squad at that time when Death Squad was real and legit, Chip was the one that helped him do all the parts. So everyone who's now riding around with fairings and T-bars should pretty much be thanking Chip and Big Chris for like this whole thing. Fair enough, it wouldn't have happened without the club guys. Like, right. I mean, you got obviously the club guys are the ones that started it, and obviously the California club guys. It's the Frisco guys, like that Ventura style, Dago guys. They were the ones that really. I mean, that's
cultivated this idea.
Yeah, they're the ones that took the nest fairing to the next level, and that's where it all began. Is the nest fairing.
Exactly.
You know, that little teeny quarter fairing that everybody would put in various places for various reasons.
That's what it was. It was the little nest fairing, and it was T-bars, and then the Ventura guys moved it up. You know, and they started it, but then Chip and Big Chris were the ones that actually commercialized it.
That's a good way to put it.
And actually sent it out to the masses. And then
we didn't even know that wasn't even part of it.
It wasn't even the purpose.
Yeah, it was just like, no, let's fucking make some bars and make some money. Let's make some cuts and make some money. Let's make some pegs and that make some money. And they're the things that people need because we see that our friends are utilizing them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
back in this time, like there was T-bars out there, but they were all like, you know, fucking straight bars. West Coast T-bars were still around, or they were doing stuff.
The time. They were doing stuff at the same time.
Yeah, right around the same time. Yeah, because that's when Scotty.
But you have to put him in with like the first innovators of it because Scotty is part of the big club.
Yeah,
and
that's part of it.
He's from Scotty's Oakland, right?
Yeah.
So they're the base of it. You know, they started it all.
Yeah,
and then I think obviously with Chris and Chip, and then you know it started to grow. Then West Coast T-bars started to grow at that same time. And then now every motherfucker has jumped on the fucking bandwagon.
Makes T-bars, bar bags.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
pegs.
Copies everybody's fucking shit. Yeah. No shame. No one gives a fuck.
From another perspective of like, you know, what you guys, you know, commercialized and also innovated in a lot of ways is like for someone like me in the Midwest who was, you know, rocking big wheel baggers and shit for a while.
Yeah.
You gotta understand like this whole culture that once it kind of swept past, you know, the Midwest and further east, it really like reinvigorated a lot of people.
Oh, it totally did.
Who had been in the bike industry for years and years and years and just was like bored.
But here's my take on it too, though, is I think there's a lot of guys just want it, like. I don't know how to frame this nicely, but a lot of guys just want to be a badass, you know?
Yeah.
And this is you slap on the fucking,
The look.
we used to call it the Dago starter kit, you know?
Yeah.
You slap on the Dago fucking starter kit and boom, you're fucking instant tough guy, you know? You got some tall socks,
Well,
some fucking Dickies, and
that's what
A
happened too.
suicidal hat, as the internet says. Remember that?
Yeah.
meme?
some long hair, a ponytail,
Remember
a
that
goatee. You become a Vans rep and have a big truck, and you're a fucking badass.
You were a meme
wait,
for a while,
sorry.
right?
I remember that.
No, but
Like,
there was
damn, dude,
a-
you made it big time. You got a fucking meme.
The same
made.
thing happened in the actual motorcycle club world, you know, in the Midwest as well. Like going across, like I said, when, you know, you had your MCs and then you had your, you know, your outlaw clubs, right? But then all of a sudden MCs used to be cool with just riding bikes and being cool. And now all of a sudden they all wanted this mentality of
I think that's more attributed to fucking Sons of Anarchy.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
sadly,
saying.
but
So
yeah.
unfortunately, like that thing had a lot to do, but the bikes was the thing that brought it mainstream for the other half of the country.
Yeah.
It was in the TV show.
Well, where we came into that whole equation was basically, so while Death Squad was rolling, we were making parts too, but there's a lot of us in the industry who actually have a lot of respect for each other. So what we don't do and what they don't do is we try not to make the same parts.
Yeah.
Like we don't make certain things that Alloy Art makes or Speed Merchant or whoever. And back in those days, it was Death Squad. Like Chris wouldn't make stuff that we were making, or we wouldn't make stuff that he was making. Therefore, we're not stepping on each other's toes. But I guess my point is where we came into the equation was, I think, with Chip building the bikes and me selling the parts and all that stuff, we commercialized it a little bit more. But then when Jeff Holt at Hot Bike, when Jeff decided like, hey man, what these guys are doing is fucking awesome, and he put the white bike on the cover. Yeah. Actually, no, was the white bike before the FXR?
Barker's
Barker's?
bike was
No,
first,
Barker's bike was first.
then Duffel. and
Yeah,
then
so
Brown bike.
between the FXR, still I don't think was the one that turned the tide. It was the
What
white
FXR?
bike, Barker's.
Oh.
There was the white bike, the duffel bike that we did. That's the one that Jeff actually took a big risk at putting that on the cover of the magazine, because he got corporate and everyone was like, fuck, they don't
Because
want
it
that
was
on.
white.
Well, because it was all white and it was all clubbed out. But
Yeah.
between us and Jeff, I won't say Hot Bike because it was
Jeff,
Jeff
yeah.
was really the one driving that
Pushing
whole
it, yeah.
fucking machine, you know. Between us and Jeff, that's when it really started
I
to
remember
spread
that.
like fucking wildfire, and it started commercializing everything. And I'm not trying to say we're the ones that did it, because obviously we're not.
Yeah.
We were more of the catalyst that with us and Hot Bike and Jeff doing it, we were the catalyst that spread it more to the masses, I think.
Yeah, because I would say that, like, you know, you had the unknown dudes kind of doing the wheelies and kind of bringing that kind of culture into it in a way, and then, you know, to me, like, I never looked at, and I mean no disrespect to them, but I never looked at their bikes from like a custom painter builder aspect. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh, they're doing wheelies on bikes, cool, whatever, you know. And then when I saw the bikes on the cover and I started seeing the style, and then I was like, you know what? At the time, I was also flying to NorCal back and forth painting bikes. So I'm like up there painting a big wheel bagger, and everybody's riding Dynas. And at the time, like, one or two people would have a bagger with a fucking set of T-bars on it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But it was like far and few between.
That was before the performance bagger.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But you know, like I'm really stoked that you guys did this. I'm trying not to nerd out with you guys, but I really do think that you guys for sure was like at the helm of the beginning of this like performance club style, whatever the fuck you want to throw the name on it.
Why, thanks.
It was like a conjunction of, like you said, the inner circle of everybody working together and pushing this whole thing out. You know what I'm saying? So
We're trying to get G to do the weed.
He can't do it now because he gets corporate pay.
oh shit, you
shit!
He's
Did
Elon
they
Musk.
piss
He
test
gets
over at
piss
Rockford?
test. Yo, use the rubber dick. I have two.
There you go.
Rubber dick.
He's the rubber dick.
So the like when y'all started doing the I mean, after these bikes started coming out, like did you just get bombarded with like builds and shit from everybody around here wanting to put in money to these bikes, or
Nope. It's really not like that.
for real?
Well, it really.
Here's the way that I look at our business model is we're about 85% online retail sales, and 10-15% bike service. Well, we don't really do services that much, but like bar installs and full builds and everything. So so I always thought of it as the chip building the bikes and whatever is more of a marketing for us, because obviously that's what people know us for. And then just the level of quality that we do on our bikes, you know, like everything gets touched. We only use top-notch parts. There's no bullshit. We did the same thing for all of our parts. You know, everything that we did.
The problem with the bikes is when you're building $100,000 Dyna or even a $50,000 or $60,000 Dyna, it's a fucking motorcycle. It has 2 wheels. You know, like many times if I looked at people and I'm like, dude, are you let's be on the same page. You want to do this. You want to spend $70,000 or $80,000.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do what I'm going to do no matter what. You know, the labor is always going to be the same.
Yeah.
You can't be like, unless you're getting into fabricating, but you know, most of that's kind of figured in there. So you figure labor's maybe 20 grand on a bike.
Yeah.
You know, and that's going full out. The rest is all parts. Even if you give someone a discount, which when they're dropping that kind of cash, you can't charge them retail. I mean, I know there's people who do, but it's like, there's karma attached to it.
And we only make you only make a small percentage on parts. So there's really not. The only way, if we were smart, we probably would have just built bikes and funded them ourselves and then sold them for fucking ludicrous amounts of money.
That's kind of been a topic of conversation as well too, because you know, for a lot of builders or people that want to build bikes, they've had a hard time finding, you know, because I've assembled a couple bikes in my career and I have no desire to do it for a customer, just because what happens to me is they see this bike I did and they fucking love it, and then they come to my shop and they want me to build everybody else's bike, not mine. You know, they're like, oh man, you check out the San Diego Customs bike or check out this bike. I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck happened to the bike that you said that I built that you like? Like, can I build my style? You know what I mean? And so like, I would think that for a bike shop, when you're building, you're trying to like, especially with Instagram now and like social media, like someone's posting a new bike that got built and these dudes are coming in like, oh man, let's change everything because this dude did the wheels that I wanted to use or the color I wanted to use or some shit like that.
We don't really think about that stuff because, I mean, everyone's always going to have another idea. It's how you incorporate it and how you make that idea better. 9 times out of 10, we don't know what the fuck we're doing until we're actually doing it. You know, sometimes we start a project and in the middle of it, we're like, shit, let's just go a whole different direction, you know? Like, say, like we're on this EFI FXR kick right now. Sure, everyone has done it, but we're trying to do it, you know, the way that where you can take it to a dealership and plug it in, and it's going to have a VIN number, and it can say, hey, this is my
the next one's going to be what? A CAN bus one?
Yeah. Next one's a CAN bus with all the trimmings and
CAN bus, twin cam still though, right?
He wants a twin cam.
Evo.
No, he wants a twin cam.
Who are you talking about?
Josh.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, twin cam.
They got the new twin
I don't
cams.
even care about that. That's the thing, is that it's just a motor.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you got to be able to tell what to do. It doesn't know if it's a twin cam. It knows it's a motor. It probably doesn't even know it's a motor because it's metal. You know what I mean? But
is it even real? Is it even there?
Oh man, you guys want to talk about that? You want to talk about that?
No, not yet.
No, let's talk about it. Come on, you want to talk about reality?
Oh, he's ready to talk.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about it.
All right, really go ahead. Let's go down that path then.
What do you want to know, man?
Well, you got.
I'll fill you.
What's the preface to this? Like, what was the kickstart to the whole?
We had a. Can we say that we did it?
Yeah. We can say we did it.
Yeah.
All
right. Well,
we're not big enough for anybody to come.
We don't know anything.
He got a DMT cartridge, so we did it, and it worked. Semi worked, not really worked. Kind of worked a little bit. Didn't break through.
Yeah.
But we both have been kind of fixated on actually breaking through and just fucking.
For those who don't know, we're talking
answers.
about DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine, which is a chemical that is made in your pineal gland in your brain, also known as the third eye. It is
in other words, don't fuck with any of that shit.
It is also in every
kids
living
listening, don't fuck around with none of that shit.
It's also in every living thing on Earth.
You might not come back.
So he actually got
the real shit.
The powder form, like as potent as fucking humanly possible.
Yeah. So I did it yesterday.
A little bit of it.
Definitely broke through, without a doubt. I was trying to tell Mike, and I a variety of people.
I had a 30-minute conversation with him yesterday about it, and he couldn't explain anything to me about what was going on.
Yeah.
How did it start for you? And
happened.
I'll compare it to mine.
Okay, so the first time we did it, we saw a bunch of
deep Texas versus
well,
fucking SoCal.
Amazingly enough, he did it about 15, 20 years ago.
No, I did it in 2011. That was the first. 2011 was my experimental year. That was me coming out.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa!
No,
we heard it here on
I
Fast Life.
I hadn't, up until that year, I hadn't done anything. I hadn't smoked weed. I hadn't done shrooms. I had done nothing my entire life. I barely drank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that year, significantly, that was the year that my daughter lived with me from her being born till she was 11 at the time, or no, 9, something like that. I can't remember. She just turned 18 like 2 days ago. So
Nice.
So she was living with me, and then her mom got her life together, and she went back to live with her mom, right? She was hitting the 10, 11 years old, and I wasn't really wanting to be there for the puberty thing personally, like hands-on, like I didn't want to deal with that. So I went from like being this dude that had another chick, my daughter, and then with this other chick I had a kid with too, so like this whole little happy family, and everything fell apart, you know? And so like, she ended up moving out, and then I was just me and my daughter, and then so next thing you know, for the first time in my life at 29 or some shit, or 28, I'm single in a nice house by myself, and I got a bike. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like I was
Party
like, fuck
time.
it, let's party. Yeah, I got a drinking habit from it. I did my first drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a fucking experimental year. So, but yeah, so how was your first step into that world? I mean, the real world, not the...
Yeah, well, the cart, I thought it was real because I've never done it before. Mike and I have been researching it for quite some time. I personally have been on this quest for probably half my life because I've known about it, just never really done the research. Acquiring the actual raw form in crystal is, to me, right, it's a step closer to being unprocessed, meaning there's nothing to hold it in that whatever the cart juice is or whatever. Yeah. So that element's taken out of it. I went ahead and the guy I got it from is experienced with it, so he told me the dosage, which for conversation's sake it would be about the size of one piece of rice. So I used a dab rig and never did that before. So the first one, when I dumped it in, and instead of smoking it, I just watched it disappear because it's just, hey, Blue. It just evaporated, and then I kind of realized that I had to have my mouth on the pipe, and smoking it like I would if it was a marijuana concentrate. So I had the little kernels of rice in the little plastic cap, and I was going to tap them into the bowl. As I was smoking, inhaling, I tapped one in, and then they all fell in. So it ended up being 0.2 of a gram, which is 6 doses. And as I ingested the smoke, I asked myself, is this too much, or is this going to work? I couldn't even finish the thought. And then everything became the halftone filter that I showed you. Then digitized my whole entire yard. I have a pretty nice yard, and everything came to life. But in the millisecond that everything became digitized in my vision, I then felt if the breakthrough point, I think of it as a building. Yeah. So if the visuals are level 2, like floor number 2, and breaking through is floor 3, I blasted right to floor fucking 500, to the point where I asked myself immediately, holy fuck, this is way beyond intense. What the fuck's going on? Where am I? How am I thinking? How am I looking? How am I hearing? And then I was doing whatever it was, and I was looking at my body, but I didn't have a body. I had no legs, no hands, no torso. I had nothing. And then I was like, well, if I don't have a fucking body, how do I have eyes? And then I was like, do I have a head? If I don't have a head, how can I fucking hear? And then in my stomach was like, my abdomen was just clenched so tight that I could still feel myself, my body saying, hey, you need to breathe. Yeah. And I kind of was like, I don't know if I can breathe. And then I was like, okay, well, fuck it, man. I don't even know where I am or what the hell's going on. Accept it. And then I heard like the other energy around me saying, hey, dude, you did this to yourself. You wanted to know. This is what you wanted. Right, Loki? And it lasted for what seemed to be forever.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, I haven't processed what went on and what I experienced. But as I was coming back from the wherever, I came back to like a digitized backyard again. Mm-hmm. Except for when I was sitting in the chair, instead of last time, when I did it first, I was able to just, it kind of wore off and I was like, wow, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Look, you're having problems, man. Sorry about that, that's Loki. This time I saw my hands and my feet and everything was back to normal. And I was trying to do this. And pick up my hands and move them. But I couldn't. And I saw Loki walk by and he looked like a cartoon character. So I was like, wow, I don't know what's going on. And then whoosh, I was gone again into wherever land.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Did you do it too?
No, not the new one.
Not the new one?
Not the new one. I did the first one.
What did it feel like?
The first one was...
Okay.
I remember mine pretty well. I'll let him finish, and then I'll tell you my.
So, as I was trying to pick my hands and feet up, I went to wherever you go back, right? So I was back in this dimension, and I was sitting there going, okay, what the fuck is going on here? And in my head, or my thought, or subconscious, I thought, what if this is it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to be bouncing back and forth from digital land back to fucking Energyville in an instant, right?
Yeah.
So then I go back, I blinked or whatever, and I opened my eyes, and I was still sitting in the chair. And I tried to pick my hands up, and my hands came up, and my arms, and my legs, and I was wiggling my hips, and I was like, okay, well, why the fuck can't I get up?
Yeah.
Stop it, dude. Sit down. And I couldn't get up. And then I blinked my eyes, and I said, I understand, like with my physical being mouth.
Yeah.
And then went somewhere else, and then right back. Everything was still digitized, and I said thank you. And as soon as I said thank you, Loki was on my porch, and he barked a really deep bark, woof, and bing, everything was crystal clear.
So was it still like, in our realm, was it still like a 15-minute time frame for you? Around
9 minutes.
9 minutes?
9
okay.
minutes, yeah, because I sent a text to somebody right before I did it, and then by the time I stood up, walked into the house, when I got into the house, Loki, who had been outside in the yard the whole entire time, was walking around, and I could see him walking, but he was like a video game, like, bzz, 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 bzz. Loki, come here, buddy. He hears us talking about him, so he was very concerned. But when I got in the house, I mean, I was with him all day. He's my dog.
Yeah.
As soon as I got into the house, he fucking wigged out like I just was gone for 2 weeks. Jumping on me, licking me, like, hey, buddy, welcome back. And I was laying on the floor with him, and then my head was like, call Mike. So I called Mike, and then I called like 4 other people. And it was... Like, I mean, Mike, I talked to Mike for about a half hour, and I couldn't even make sense of what, like, I could totally verbalize everything, like talking like you and I are all now, but I couldn't tell him what the fuck
it's kind of like trying to explain a really fucking profound dream that you have. You know, when you wake up from a dream, you're like, fuck, man, like, that was intense, and like, it's the longer you get past that dream, the vaguer and vaguer the experience was, but it meant something amazing.
Absolutely. I definitely think that we are interdimensional creatures. I think that when people die, wherever that DMT substance takes you, that's where, if you want to call it a soul or their energy, I think it all exists there. Yeah. I mean, I've heard stories of people. I mean, just this morning, one of our customers was telling me a story. I mean, I didn't even expect to hear it. He was just like, yeah, man, my friend did DMT, and he saw his whole lineage going back to the beginning of time. Yeah. And he walked down an aisle and saw them all, like going back, way back to the caveman era. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's wild. And I'm just like, what the fuck did he do? And he's like, DMT.
I mean, if you not to like jump on him for that, but how do you explain that? Like, how do you even comprehend that if you're seeing that?
Everything I just said to anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, it sounds absolute insanity. Yeah. But I mean, I don't do drugs. I mean, I smoke. I don't. What drugs do I do? I smoke weed. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. What else?
No, I know that's all you do.
I'm being serious. You can.
That's a drug.
Right. No. Well, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? It's a plant.
In some places.
Yeah.
In some
I
societies.
can't even. After last night, I can't even quite. I'm like.
I'm kind of. I don't consider weed a drug at all.
either.
You really gotta stop, dude. I don't know what your problem is, man. He just wants us to pet him. That's all he wants.
Yeah. Need a full-time
getting-
He
petter.
usually doesn't give a fuck, you know.
Yeah, well, he's not getting ample
weird.
attention.
Yeah.
And Blue's here. Blue has. Look at
And
him.
Blue's just tired of getting fucked.
Dude, just like leave my fucking ass alone.
Jail.
Yeah, the that whole experience, like I said, it's been years since I've done it. It's just a you know, my whole reason for getting into the DMT shit and mushrooms and stuff in the first place was just art, man. Like fucking, I'm still a huge Tool fan, and then that kind of put me on the Alex Gray stuff, and then Alex Gray, I read a couple of his books, a fan of his artwork.
You know all that stuff he draws.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That was my
all of that I saw, Mike.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I blasted right past all that shit.
So that's where I went.
Yeah.
So when I did it, like, you know, like you smoke it, and as soon as you exhale it, then like you're like coming out of your breath with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
absolutely. That's how. As I was going, exhaling, like I hit it like it was a bomb.
Yeah. So
which is probably not the smartest thing to do.
when you do almost any other, like I've never done acid, but I don't know if it's that instantaneous where it's like as soon as you drop it in your mouth, you start tripping.
No, acid takes a little bit to
Acid
go through your
takes a
system,
while,
just
yeah.
like shrooms take a little
Yeah,
bit to
so
process.
I'm thinking like, you know, how the fuck is it like this instantaneous? Like as soon as you, bam, exhale.
Well, when we did the cart, it took a couple puffs to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to explain to you when I was like, dude, this is as you're as soon as it starts to come out, all the geometric shapes that we were seeing,
Yeah.
all that stuff happens so fucking fast.
wow.
I felt like I was in like a sci-fi movie, like the kind of movie like where they have some guy laying on a laser table and they shoot him with a laser beam and his body just goes like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I felt I was. You know, all right, how about an electric chair? I felt like my body must have been like this while I was for that 9 minutes because when I was done, I felt like I worked out for 10 days, went to 50 jiu-jitsu classes, and then got thrown off a building. My stomach really hurt because I must like
Tensing all your muscles.
and my hands were white as fuck, so I was white knuckling for sure. Yeah, and it was really trippy because like as I was moving my hands, I'm like my hands are moving, but like there was no like blood flow in them. Like they looked pale white, and I'm like, or is that just a visual? And I'm like, okay, so I can look at my fingers and I can pick them up, but I can't pick my body up. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And you know this feeling? That's the feeling. I'm like, okay, look, I was doing this, sitting in the chair going, what is going on? And I was like, please, this can't be like this.
Yeah.
I can do this, but I just can't do this.
It almost feels like you went to a like you should have did it, like you skipped a lot of steps basically.
Yeah, well that's and see that's kind of what I realized when all the little pieces fell into the bowl.
Maybe
and
you went
instantly-
somewhere that's really hard to understand because it is a step process to getting to this enlightenment or whatever you want to consider it to be.
You nailed it, dude.
So like
I did too much and I found out too much, and I think at the end of it, that's why I literally had to say I understand, because going into it, he'll tell you all I wanted to know. Same that what we're searching for is what else is out there. What is the truth? And I've been looking for it for so long that I think when my hand was dumping the DMT into the bowl, my subconscious was just like weed. I'm like, fucking ram that thing filled, you know? And fuck me, dude. Like, holy shit. Like, I was fucking...
Do you think everybody thinks the same way that we do? The reasoning for doing DMT?
Well, what, to find the secret of the truth?
Like I want answers. I don't even know I don't even know what the question is, but I want fucking answers.
Yeah,
like that's why I
say it's a 500-story building, and I went right to the top, and I skipped all the stuff. I think I skipped the library of answers, the hall of knowledge. I skipped all of that shit, and I went too far too
Life
fast.
101.
And I knew it, and that's what's weird is that as I was blowing out the hit, it like I feel like my body just went, and then I just went, and it was just ripped right out of my skin, my meat suit, and then flown around the fucking.
My meat suit. I was ripped right out of my meat suit.
Yeah, because I mean that's all this is, man.
Yeah.
I mean it really there's no ego there. There's no time. There's no matter. There's nothing there. It's just bliss. And I was so terrified yet so calm that I was just like, fuck, if this is what it's like when you're dead, I'm like, well, maybe I'm dead. Maybe I just died. And then I was thinking like, well, fuck, I left the door open and Loki's outside. You know what I mean? And then myself would be like, well, you just thought that thought. So how far gone are you?
Yeah.
If you're thinking about something on Earth.
Well, it sounds like you were like I said, you were experiencing so many things that like finding out, like you literally went in with more, came out with more questions and almost went in.
Yeah, but I will say that doing too much is not recommended because sure. Our other friend said, hey, she told us a story about how she's been in 2 car accidents and she's been clinically dead twice. Mm-hmm. She said the same shit that she saw when she did DMT once is that she's like, it's the same. She goes, I don't
same shit she saw when she was clinically dead.
I don't need to do it again. I saw what I needed to see. I learned what I need to learn. I know and I understand.
What else did she say? Remember, she said I don't need to be in an existential crisis.
Yeah,
as well as dealing with my real life. She said some shit like that.
Because I got to that point last night where I'm like, wow, like fucking A, like I don't need to do it again.
It can be overwhelming. Like, you know, I'm just kind of assuming some of the thought process that you might be going through with like thinking about like all the what ifs in life and shit. But man, like I went down that path of like questioning religion and fucking this and that, and it just put me into more and more and more questions and more like trying to understand shit. Yeah. And I realized that there's people that spend their whole life trying to decipher reality and you know, and the past and the future and the present and how it all works together and things. And it's like, man, I only got like a couple hours after work to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to
you're gonna find out when you're dead.
Exactly.
When you die, you're gonna get that big DMT rush, and then you're gonna be like, wow, okay, this is it. Now I know.
You know, but I think that I went into it because as a younger artist, you know, like in the custom paint world, like our work isn't really viewed as art. Like, you know what I mean? Like they say that, oh, that's art, but motherfucker, you are selling that shit as soon as you need some money. You're not, you know, if you take those tins off, you're not going to hang them on the wall. Most people don't. I know some people do, but no one treats it like art once they own it, right?
Yep.
As opposed to like, you know, an Alex Gray piece or many other visionary artists and other artists like graffiti artists that do canvas work or tattoo artists that do oil work and stuff like that. It's like, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So
it all depends.
It depends. I'm definitely when I'm putting gas on my bike, I'm doing every fucking thing. I treat it like I'm putting gas through a Picasso or something.
I say, you guys.
Yeah.
But you got to think, man. Like I've painted, you know, definitely over 1,000 bikes in my life, and I'll tell you what, 10%, maybe 100, maybe 10%. That's a big number for that. Cared for it as art.
The 1,000 bikes you painted?
At least
that's fucking high volume, dude. Comparative to.
Well, I don't do that anymore. I used to work for a shop where we were like production, so we were painting bikes.
Oh, okay, all right. Not 1,000 custom. Where you
they were custom.
Like, oh, no shit.
But it was like back in the chopper day, like the way that bikes were painted back then. You were paying a lot of money for that shit, but you were getting fucking. I want a number 1 with the little side of number 2. That's how it was back then. It wasn't.
Well, the chopper guys.
Number 1 with a little side of number 2.
Yeah.
So it was a much different world.
Give me 3 tribal pieces and a fucking swirly bird.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, fuck, Phoenix had Dino's and Area 5150. Like, there was these massive shops that had 4 fucking paint booths cranking out fucking chopper work all day long for Borgette and all these.
Sucker Punch Sally.
So it was a much.
I remember those guys. Yeah.
If that era didn't take place, I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at in the custom paint world or skill wise now, you know, because I don't do, like, there was a point in time where I spent. Every day I had an airbrush in my hand, even if it was for something minute, but every fucking day I had an airbrush in my hand, and that's the only way I was able to get to a certain level as I guess as quick as I did. I'm not as, some of the artists that I know that are fucking some of the best in the industry, you know, Hot Dog, the guys like that, they've been doing it since I was fucking born. You know what I mean? So, and I wouldn't say they're just now coming into their own, but now they're like masters of their craft more or less, you know what I'm saying?
And then that's who I think of, guys like Hot Dog, where if Hot Dog gave me anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If anything he gave me, quick you know, fucking hour-long thing on a board or whatever. That motherfucker would be hanging up on the wall like. It's art.
I think that's kind of where we're all coming to. You know, I want to give you a chance to talk about your DMT trip real quick, though.
Oh no, mine wasn't that crazy.
The first one, he didn't do the.
I haven't done the second one yet. I gotta wait for the timing's got to be perfect.
Yeah,
I can't force it.
That's the other thing I did too. Is yesterday I came home from the dog park. We were riding yesterday in a head shop. I bought the fucking pipe. So it just all came together, and that's how the first time it came. The first time we did it with the cart, I walked in from the dog park. I was like, "Well, something told me to do this."
Yeah, we both believe it's got to just be a flow. You don't want to force yourself to do it. You know,
our other friend who's going to listen to this, who has his little fucking chair and his beautiful view and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
That's not necessary, dude. Because we could do it right here. You could sit in your.
I kind of know, but
I'm telling you, when you break through,
I would have.
You're not.
If you would find
you're not here at all.
Yeah.
So this doesn't matter.
Well, mine I didn't break through at all. But what I did do was,
he's like, it just stresses me out, man.
It took me about about 4 hits on the cart, and then kind of like chipped to my whole backyard. Like I had a barbecue over there, and then the fence and the planter and the palm tree. It all kind of looked digital but almost plasticky, and like perfectly clean and everything. But the weird thing, like for every fence post there was like 5 fence posts instead, and then I lifted up my hands and I did my fingers like this, and I had like 10 fingers on each hand. And I was just like, wow, that's fucking
I found this
weird.
helmet, like I do a lot of helmets, so I'm always looking for ideas. And that's what I remember my trip to be like.
Oh yeah.
Like everything I looked at was like that.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that until the end. In the end, I looked up at the sky, and it was a clear night, and all the stars had little lines joining them, and it looked like that.
Yeah.
Like real faint. But before that, the only other thing that was like super weird was like I looked at my big palm tree right in my yard, and it was almost like it was like vines were swirling around it, and then it just started breathing. Like I could see it. I could literally see the palm tree breathing.
That's what you see a lot on mushrooms too. Is you see things breathing,
which is crazy.
You guys are fucking nuts, dude.
It's just like 15 minutes. That's it, dude, and you're done.
Somebody could come in here and since I'm so fucking money hungry, right? Can go throw $100,000 on the table, cash right now, and be like, "Hey, do what these guys just did." You know, and I'd be like, "Fuck that shit, man."
Why not? Don't you want to know what else?
Well, fuck that. I'm already confused enough and fucked up with what I already know.
But
I'm already trying to figure that shit out.
It puts everything in perspective.
So here's the thing that I always feel too is like, ever since I was a kid, man, I felt this. This was more like about what I feel about LSD and shit like that.
Have you done LSD?
No. Never.
Have you ever done mushrooms?
Fuck no, dude.
No psychedelics ever.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because I grew up in fucked up part of Jersey, and then always being in the city and stuff. You know? So early '80s Jersey, Newark.
I heard about it in a rap song.
So there was there was tons of people.
Fun.
I mean, we got tweakers now that we got figured out.
Yeah.
They're just tweakers or pieces of shit. We can't stand them. We want them gone. But there's also like there's people that you just see the dude walking down the street talking to himself. He's not bothering anybody. He's just having a full blown fucking argument with people around him. Then there's nobody around him. And I always. Most people just see that and they might laugh a little bit and forget about them, or they just completely fucking ignore them. They're just like empty people in society. They have nothing to offer, But I was a kid, I always thought this. I'd look at the guy walking by, and then 2 minutes later, another guy's doing it, and then a girl or whatever. And you're like, how the fuck? At one time, that person was a kid just like me on a skateboard, causing trouble, having fun, doing whatever, living life. And now they have nothing to offer, not even themselves, dude. They're just fucking going through life, and there's no coming. You just see it, and you're like, they're too far gone.
Yeah.
There's junkies that get clean.
So you think if you do DMT, you're going to become one of these?
I've always been paranoid. That's why I've never done mushrooms. I've never done LSD. I've never done anything that alters my fucking shit more than weed.
I was wondering if that was something that was caused through psychedelic drugs or something through like massive amounts of like really hard drugs like heroin and things like that. I mean, I'm not a drug expert, so...
Ring doorbell alert.
Well, why don't you put it on mute?
I can't. I can.
You actually, you know what? You can't mute that.
Oh, really?
But
there it is. We need you.
I get what you're saying.
A copper bag.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That part of that, I mean, like I said, I kind of grew up in a household where my dad was like one of those guys, like I don't really talk to him much nowadays, but growing up, he was the guy that sold drugs so that he could do drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he had a little bit of weed.
Fucking ate the profits.
Yeah, like, hey, you know
That's
what? I
called
can
a
sell.
flatliner.
Okay.
So you just sell it to do it and sell it to do it, and you never get ahead. You never fall behind.
So in
Until
high
you
school,
do.
like, you know, I'm going to high school, I'm playing sports, I'm like trying to take care of myself and shit like that. And then I just remember there were never tweakers coming to the house. It was never like that. It'd be a dude in a Corvette, nice one back in the 90s, you know, C-5s when they came out or whatever.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they would
Doing coke off some
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
chick's puss.
exactly. So they would come out of the house and they just stop by.
Chick's hairy bush, dude.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do? Yeah, and how are you gonna do
Because
coke
it's
off a
70s.
hairy bush?
It's 70s, dude. That's what it was back then.
I'm
So
not
the
that fucking
80s.
old. I'm talking about the 90s,
80s?
dude.
Oh, okay, even 90s.
That's
yeah.
John Johnson era. That's
For some reason, I was
bikini
thinking
waxing.
80s.
Yeah.
And those
Yeah,
would be called
they were
pussies,
more
not
racist.
And you would do it off of her ass. You wouldn't do it off of her
No, you
puss.
do it off her flappy meat flaps. You know, they were flappier back then. Girls now, they reel them in, they get them tucked,
Yeah.
fucking cut up and everything.
Oh my
in the
God,
70s, dude, they just flapped them out and left them
Holy
looking like roast
shit.
beef. Open up an old Playboy, dude. That shit was even hard to jerk off to when I was like 12, dude.
Left a lot
Pussies
to
were fucked
imagination.
up looking,
This
man.
is great.
Thank
I mean,
God they
where
reel them
the
in a little
fuck
bit.
Did this
you know?
come from? We went from bikes to DMT to
beef
bush
curtains.
And we haven't even
Bush
reached the
beef
jerkers yet.
Yeah,
we
we
haven't
haven't
even
got
addressed
to
that
man,
yet.
holy shit!
Yeah, we went from Woodstock with the fucking tripping balls and freaking
To Danny's New Jersey monologue.
He's like, let me tell you about beef curtains and fucking bushes. All right.
But it just shows, dude. Everybody's got their own
Yeah.
deal. You know what I mean? These guys willingly do it, and they're stoked, whatever. But then there's the other side of it is me, where it's like, fuck that shit.
I
man.
think a lot of
horrifying
people,
to me.
I think the right way to come into psychedelics is with some kind of question. Like I'm not saying that if you just was partying one day and someone offered you something and you took it and you had a good time, cool. But to me, like you get a lot out of it when you go into these kind of like altered states with like questions and I honestly I don't really know if I ever answered those questions because I always felt like you go in with the questions, but then it showed you shit that wasn't pertaining to it, but it still was something you needed to see or feel or experience, which I think is cool. But kind of like what you were saying, I guess the reason I haven't really done it or pursued it in over 10 years is because I started having like more experiences that I enjoyed in my life, more or less, with like honestly riding bikes, as gay as it might sound, like just getting out and riding bikes and traveling
Do you mean
on them.
as happy as it might make you?
Yeah. Well, you know, not trying to sound weird, but like I found a lot of things that kind of gave me something to occupy my mind, and I enjoyed it more or less, rather than like almost like giving you so much time to be alone with yourself, and you kind of get wrapped up thinking and like trying to answer math problems that you're never going to be able to fucking answer, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
See, we just got to the point, I think, where we just have done so many things and met so many people and dealt with so many issues and have so many questions, like, you know, aliens, the universe, the pyramids. Where do we come from? How did we get here? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Let's start there. You know, each person has their own story, and that kind of helps you figure out the rest of the tale, I guess. You know?
Dude, those you just named off some rabbit holes that'll have you up on YouTube all fucking night for like 3 months.
Sense
Fuck
right
yeah.
What do you mean?
now. Nothing you said made sense.
How can you say that? Which
Here
came
comes.
first, the chicken or the egg? All right, come on. Well, answer it. It doesn't make sense.
Stupidest cliche ever.
Answer the question.
It's complicated.
The chicken came first.
How? The chicken comes from the egg.
It evolved from something else.
Yeah, a tree.
From alien DNA.
I read something last night in my quest after DNA, post DMT, that I wasn't kidding. Trees made animals to move seeds. So that's how they went back in the I mean, somebody had a big dissertation of what they saw, and that's what they said, is that trees made animals to move seeds. You know, not trees, plants made animals.
Yeah.
I don't know how, through the evolutionary process of a billion years ago, but that's how the vegetation covered the earth.
Wow.
I don't know if that got. I don't know what strain of DMT that.
I thought it was bees.
That answer came from. Yeah.
No,
bees.
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 There's so many. Like, I mean, hell, if you listen to Rogan fucking at all, then there's so many theories that he's brought up, you know, that make so much sense. And like I said, you start digging into stuff. Like, it's clear that it wasn't like some fucking, you know, biblical kind of thing that was like you know, hey.
Oh, it's pre-Bible.
Yeah.
It's great. The older I get, in my younger years, I used to like to dig into shit like that to figure out. Now you get to a certain age where you're like, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I just want to have fun.
Yeah, who you
just fucking live my life, make some dough.
Me too,
you know?
me too.
I try and keep it as simple as possible. Fuck the bees. Fuck the trees. Fuck all the shit.
Fuck the D's, the M's, and the T's.
Hey, but if somebody else wants to spend, if that's how someone else wants to spend their time, more power to them. Yeah. I'm just trying to have as much fun as I can now. Like, that's how simple shit goes. As you get older,
we're going to get him to do a puff, and his whole life's going to change. He's going to go, dude, nothing matters.
No, I'm going to fucking wind up walking down the street talking to myself, screaming at you guys going, I fucking told you. I'll be out there in that window every day like, I told you, motherfuckers.
We'll be like,
I got fired from Vans. I can't stop talking to myself.
Put your blue shirt on and go into the jerker office.
Yeah, there's I don't know, man, like, fucking there's times when, like, you know, even smoking weed, like, I enjoy it a lot, but I honestly started smoking weed to try to curb some of my drinking. Like, I'm like, you know what, I like if I could find a social aspect to, like, you know, hitting it, then I would totally do it more. But
I would highly recommend that weed over drinking, you know.
But like, so when we did SEMA this year, like, we went and bought a bunch of gummies, and I'm on gummies like a motherfucker.
Oh, God.
I love that shit.
Fuck.
Because
that's a whole different level for me. But.
No, well, I'm not fucking weed smart, right? So I don't really know all the fucking shit to do to make it work and make me do this and that. So it's like, I don't like head highs. I like body highs, right? And I found that most of the gummies I try, which I want to say it's the one that does that, basically. It's like I can kind of control how much it is, and it feels good. I like it. I did a couple podcasts on it.
I did edibles once.
Yeah.
That's all I needed. And all the way I could describe it, the experience was food poisoning mixed with paranoia, extreme paranoia. Like, imagine being raided while you have food poisoning.
We did.
That's what fucking edibles did to me.
Edibles in Sturgis?
No, that was somebody else.
I ate the edibles.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah,
that was actually good.
Yeah. Well, then why were you pulling your shirt apart?
Because my other edible experience was horrible, but that edible experience was actually very good.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I know where you're pulling your shirt apart.
That was off natural. That's what I mean, dude. I'm only one step away from being the guy. I do all that shit sober, you know. Yeah. All the shit you see me do, that's off the. I do. So I'm only one step away from being that fucking guy. I'm trying not to get there, you know. Yeah, I lost my mind in fucking Sturgis and started ruining all my clothes and fucking out of just humor / maybe a little bit of whatever.
It was just that one.
We just got stuck in the moment, dude. And we were
just
all
in that one laundromat.
We'll show you.
Sometimes I get a contact high almost. But in Sturgis, we went to Sturgis 75th, and these guys were enjoying the weed and the fucking edibles. I didn't do any of that yet. I smoke weed now to go to sleep. That's it. I can't even. They were just trying to offer me. I can't do any of it. I need to be ready to go to sleep, and that's what I use it for, and it fucking helps me so much, man.
He's got a process to go to sleep too, so he probably needs a little bit more weed to go to sleep.
I got to use one of those CPAP machines. I got like extreme sleep apnea, so I got to get really on another fucking planet to relax, to put that thing on your face, because it makes you claustrophobic and you're all fucked up. Now, when you finally go to sleep, it's the best sleep you could ever be in. I mean, you want to talk about going into another fucking dimension? It puts you in like the deepest REM sleep you can go. It's fucking awesome. So you go from no sleep and hanging on to life by a thread, you know, because when you have, you know, when you wake up 60 times a night, that you don't know it, you don't get any real sleep. So you start to lose your shit. So I have to use that machine, and I can't stand it. The actual act of falling asleep with one on is one of the worst things you could fucking go through. It's fucked up. Weed helps that quite a bit. So, but other than that, I don't do anything. I did try the edibles just to try it once, and like I said, it made me puke violently. And then I remember being on my computer, and I started Googling how long does an edible high last, because I wanted out. Because I was super fucking paranoid, freaking out, where just smoking indica, just a blunt, you know? 5 or 6 hits puts me in a calm state where my lids start to get heavy, and that's all I want out of weed. That's all I ask for. I don't want anything else, you know?
Yeah, that's I mean, that's way better than starting to pop pills to go to sleep and shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I think, too.
That was the first time we got pulled over when we were in Sturgis. There's Danny G stretching his shirt.
Does he look high?
I don't know if he looks high.
He looks fucking...
I could have been, you know what's funny? That could have been a contact high, because look how fucking ripped Chip is. Chips in it, dude. Chips on a bad one.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but I think I ate like fucking 2,000
A lot of that was a product of
brownies, so I should have been sleeping.
Yeah,
it just doesn't
that,
work like that with me. I don't know
that
why.
That trip
it's a
was like
curse.
2 weeks long, and we were fucking delirious. You know what I mean?
Dude, 2 weeks in Sturgis is like 2 weeks in Vegas, dude.
It put us on another planet, but I'm telling you, it's the most fucking fun I've ever had, man.
Yeah.
I love this shit. That, to me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that was
the more
actually
fucked
fun.
the trip is, the better.
We nearly went bankrupt because of that stupid fucking show that we were there for. But
You ever been to Sturgis?
Tons of times.
Yeah. You go to 75th?
Yep.
That's the one we were
yeah,
at.
it's the city park, that whole city park fiasco.
What I did, I was on the Big Wheel thing. Then what happened?
You didn't go. That's all.
So when you're going out of Sturgis towards the Buffalo Chip,
Yeah, I know the
city
city
park on the
park's
left
yeah.
there. So that year they did a whole big thing in the city park.
Was
with
that the
bands and all
FXR
kinds of-
jam there?
The
Or
FXR
FXR
show.
The FXR
Yeah.
show was there.
Yeah.
There was the unknown stunt show. There was like 2 stages with bands and all that shit, but it tanked. You know, there was people were in there, but it wasn't busy like everybody.
But we
thought it
made the
was gonna
best of
be.
it.
Yeah.
But other than the business end of it, we had a good time. It
All
was
of
a
our
blast.
friends, basically everyone got fucking picked up and dropped in Sturgis.
Yeah,
Everybody,
pretty
all of
much.
our friends from all of Arizona was there. Like, it was fucking really
the shows, this scene in Sturgis has definitely grown. I mean, I don't know what to compare it to.
fun. I don't know if I really give a shit to go back now.
Dude, I love Sturgis.
The 80th, maybe, yeah.
Dude, I love it.
To me, it's only
That's this year.
I have to have.
I'm not going back.
I gotta have my people there.
Yeah.
You gotta rock. You have to go. Rock.
Everybody,
You
if
have to
everybody's
go.
going, I'll go, and that's the only
Rockford's
reason
gonna
why I'd go.
require you to go.
Yeah,
period.
you're gonna-
Oh, that's right. They're gonna pay me a shit ton of dough to be there, so I probably should go.
They probably are, and you better remember to hashtag every picture too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I will. I wear
Well-
the uniform, the whole nine.
Sturgis,
Hashtag
man, like
Rockford Fosgate. Hashtag Tam Tam.
Tam.
Sturgis is one of those events that, like, when all you like you said, everybody's gonna be there, and it sucks when people aren't. Well, like when you don't go and everybody's there, and there's
Yeah.
things going on and shit that you could have just been there. I don't like that feeling of left out. Like I would
Yeah.
rather
It's called FOMO.
Promo.
Yeah.
FOMO, buddy. FOMO.
I think I saw y'all two at the Bell Brawl this year there. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
They took my place in the judging
Oh, you,
thing.
You didn't go this year.
I didn't go.
past year?
Yeah, like
Okay.
a dumbass, and I felt that too. Like I should have.
It was
just
cool,
go.
man.
You know,
It was a cool thing. You know, I'm a Simpson guy, so I just got to throw that out there. But Bell's cool. It was pretty cool. I wore a Bell to that.
You like
to
an
that-
uncomfortable
No,
helmet?
no, I like a helmet that fits my head, and Simpsons fit my head. And they're actually
Your
I've
head
ridden,
doesn't look like a box. I'm just kidding.
I've
It's a
ridden.
BMT. You don't fucking
Yeah.
look like a box.
I
Look
wore.
like a
I bought a
cube.
Bell Star, and I rode to the Born, because when we do Born Free, the years we do, we do a big ride from Dallas to San Francisco and then down. So I did my gold FXR probably in 2017. That's the year that Oliver won the FXR show, and that year I built my
Just
gold
won it
one.
every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the year I brought my FXR. And
I remember it there.
Yeah.
So
So
I was impressed. I was like, damn, these guys rode this thing all the way from Texas.
Yeah, it barely made it. I was at the front entrance to get in there.
Barely made it.
With
Everybody I've met
the
at-
ramp balls on the clutch housing right there.
Side cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ramp balls came out right when I was pulling into the Oak Canyon Ranch.
Oh, wow.
So I had to pull that cover off. My buddy stopped and helped me. We had to pull that cover off and find it because I had no clutch.
Wow.
But after that, never had to fuck with it again.
FXR life.
That's cool.
Yeah. But no, I wore the Bell this year. We did the Born Free show this year, and I wore it the whole trip, and I dug it. There was a couple spots that kind of over time, but
It was your race star.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get these questions all fucking day, and I tell everybody, like, bar height, helmets, and seats. Like, you got to figure out what fits you and what you like. man.
There's no one size fits all.
Yeah.
You can't. I always. It sounds ignorant when somebody says like, "This is
And
the way you
windshield
have to
size,
go."
that's
Yeah,
another one,
windshield
too.
size too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I usually rock at least 14s or 13s on my bikes as far as bar height, and I'm not tall and I'm not long, so it's like people are like, dude, like your bars are way too tall for you. I'm like, motherfucker, I ride thousands of miles and I feel great after I get
Yeah.
off.
Let's talk about bikes. What bike are you talking about?
Which one?
Are you talking about the bike that got stolen in Indy?
Oh,
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that.
Talk about that.
We heard about that
So
one.
Jace rides to Hey Jimmy. What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Jace rides over there to interview Jimmy at Horsepower. Wasn't it your friend's bike?
yeah. So I had a bagger that I had done like the first like performance bagger from my shop that wasn't really performance bagger. It was just like a bagger that had short bags and like a couple performance parts on it.
Right.
You know, but that was my take of it at the time. And I was going to ride that, but some kid in fucking Riverside bought it. And so I didn't have a bike. So my buddy's like, hey, we'll just ride this DX. He had a 2004 DX that he picked up that we were actually going to do some shit too later on. So I jumped on it, had a fucking blast. That was the first time. That was the farthest I ever rode a Dyna. You know, like 1,100 miles. It was nice.
From Texas to Jimmy's.
Yeah.
To Indianapolis.
So we stopped. We stopped and we stayed at Booster Brad's place, and then the next day we finished up the trip. And then, dude, we're sitting in there, fucking. I guess Scott. Y'all met Scott, right? Scott's one of the other partners. So he like went all out. Like, they're dynoing the fucking bike for the build off thing or the build thing for the Born Free and the and Harley and. They're just putting on the dyno, so we're getting to witness this and see all that shit in that badass bike they built. And there's pizzas everywhere and beer everywhere because at the time I was a Dos Equis drinker, so they had a fucking Dos Equis everywhere. And dude, like they had to kick all the guys out of there, and we started doing the podcast. And like, I don't know, like 3/4 of the way in, like you just hear a bike start. And we didn't think nothing of it because there was 100 dudes on bikes there,
right.
The whole day. It was just fucking like, all right, well, fuck, there was one more out there. And then we finished the podcast. We go outside, about to head to the house. Fucking bike was gone, dude. Fortunately, I had took my like sissy bar bag off of it, and it was in the shop with us. But, yeah, they got my helmet and everything. And had to fly home from that. My brother, he'd only been riding. He'd been riding for a year at that point. But, he had never done, like, I made him ride to Sturgis 3 months after he bought a bike. And so he did the Sturgis ride with me, but he's never ridden across country more or less solo. So it was an experience for him.
Well, damn it. And then they have it on video. They know the guy who took the bike. Laura called the cops, gave him the video. They know where the guy fucking lives. The guy to this day is still riding around on the dude's bike around Indy. And no one.
And the cops they don't do anything.
They actually found the bike. Jimmy sent me a message in like September, and they found it. Or actually, the guy that owned the bike sent me a message because the police found it, and it was a frame transmission.
They stripped it down.
Oh, when did they do that? When did they do that?
It was around August. Yeah.
And that's why you don't call those fucking dorks, dude. They don't do shit.
Oh man, how about the two today? Outside, wow! Did you see Instagram?
You almost witnessed another
fucking officer dick nose and bozo lips.
Yeah, we almost made another meter maid cry.
It a meter maid with an actual officer in a white SDPD truck with no lights, and he didn't have a gun.
They're sending an actual officer.
We're like, what the fuck kind of officer
y'all just
are you?
Fuck with him or what?
Yeah, we're like, you don't have a badge. Your badge is sewn on your chest.
The one day there was one here. Oh, did you send me that video?
I don't know.
Fuck, that was a good one, man.
The meter maid was
I had to edit some of it.
The meter maids, normally they just do their job, and we kind of argue with them, like, man, why are you doing this? Like, assholes. Sometimes they're like, hey, fuck you. And we're like, well, all right, what's up, pussy? And one day we had
making fun of them because they're just fucking kooks. They ride around these little carts that they barely fit in,
Oh, I saw those.
Yeah. What did you tell the guy? Your strongest or your toughest weapon is a
tape measure.
Is a tape measure.
Because they have a tape measure, so they can measure how far from the curb you are or whatever.
Like, you're a meter maid. Like it's why
Loki.
Why are you a maid? But just like fuck you, get the fuck out of here.
So is that what they're doing? Like you can't be that far from the curb and everything?
Oh, dude,
no, it's like
sit.
Well, the one day when we had the argument with the dude, Danny G was parked in the right here, so he was wrong, but still.
Sit down, buddy.
Yeah, I walked out and I was like, hey, can I just move this thing? And he goes, nope. And I go, okay, cocksucker, looks like it's on. So we fucking...
It's called a waveform.
This is not professional. That's why people like it. I don't know.
So we were just fucking with him, and you know, the dude was visibly shook, lip quivering, the whole nine. He was bummed, dude.
We have a lot of things that go on outside across the street with the building pertaining to this place and cops and meter maids. And
do they call the cops on y'all for patronizing the people that go in there?
Surprisingly, they know.
One time,
a couple times.
No, you don't remember? It was our birthday.
Yeah, that was one time.
Yeah,
but they called them a couple times, but our birthday was the most memorable because they sent.
These guys' birthdays on the 3rd, mine's on the 5th, so I think it was the 4th, or it was the 3rd.
Yeah, it was my birthday.
What happened? Why were we so mad? Why did we pull the bench outside and start yelling at all of their customers?
Cum-filled, poop-covered rubber.
Oh, yeah.
Two of
so when we opened the shop in the morning, on the sidewalk in front of our door were two, let's call them cream-filled...
chocolate swab.
Cream-filled, chocolate-covered...
chocolate-covered prophylactics.
Prophylactics.
Laying on our sidewalk. He was so fucking pissed. He kicked them all the way across the street, right into the jerk shop across the street.
You opened the door and kicked it inside the shop?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, my God.
The dude, Steve wasn't there, but the dude with the crazy hair... No. It was the gay guy.
Yeah.
And the gay guy stood on the by the door and he was like, I would have picked him up if you asked me to, blah blah blah. And then I don't know.
I was clapping.
Yeah, he just started just kept clapping. So we pulled the bench out. Every customer that went in there were like, hey, just
does your wife know you're here?
Does your wife know you're here? Like, blah, blah, blah.
Could you imagine being the guy walking in complaining to them? Like, hey, dude, I'm just trying to come up here and get some fucking butt sex.
Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
I don't need all this. What's going on? Like, I'll find another place.
Here's the thing that I'm waiting for, and this blows me away that this hasn't happened
hold on one second.
yet.
Before you even say that,
Right.
let us start off with this.
Well, wait, I got to finish the story.
We have to, hold on. What we are talking about is a adult store called the Adult Depot, which is across the street from our shop. Upon moving in here, Danny G noticed that everybody who goes in there, which is predominantly males, wear blue shirts, whether they change into them prior to going in, come out with a blue shirt on, in and out, whatever. The goal is to go in there with some sort of blue shirt on. It means a code of some sort. So fast forward the 2 years, we've seen a plethora of, let's just say, weird happenings over there pertaining to male
blue shirt,
male on male stuff, and
well, how many years have we been here? We've been
2.5.
No, we've been here 3 years.
Have we?
Almost 3 years. And how many women? There's maybe 10 women.
I would say 20 if you count like the random strippers that go in there to buy dildos and shit.
Okay, so maybe 20 in 3 years, but probably thousands of dudes.
Thousands of dudes.
And a lot of them wearing blue shirts.
Yeah. So one of the guys from Hot Bike looked up on one of the gay forums to find out what the shirts mean. And basically, a blue shirt means oral sex. There's like a red shirt for like fisting. There's a yellow shirt for water sports.
And there's a difference between dark blue and light
yellow
blue.
Shirt for water sports. Where's that yellow T-shirt? I need to go get pissed on it my next meeting.
Hey man.
Hey honey, is my brown shirt clean?
Why don't you just wear the other one?
Yeah. So
it's my favorite. My brown T-shirt's my favorite.
So then we knew the protocol.
Yeah.
So every couple days we come to work and there's weird shit going on, which is where Mike can pick up the story. But the cum-filled, poop-covered rubbers was my birthday, and I just lost it. So that's why I kicked him into the door, and then they called the cops on me.
Well, after we yelled at their customers for about the next hour or two, they called the cops. But
dude, these guys have a PA system that they have installed, so they could do the like, woo, like they pretend like they're rating your
wife. Does your wife know you're here?
Unhand that cock, sir.
You're like the people at a damn Planned Parenthood.
Unhand that cock.
No, but if you're a gay dude or whatever, that's fine. Fuck, it's totally cool. Have your gay sex or whatever. But these guys,
keep it off the curb.
These guys are all straight family dudes coming here to do weird shit.
Yeah,
do it at home. Do it in your own house.
Just come out, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Even it's sometimes. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, it's not, like, you can tell, like, yeah, that dude's straight. He definitely has a wedding ring on. We've seen guys, like, pull up in the front of the shop in really nice Mercedes and business suits, quick strip into a, should I quick do that?
Yeah, switch it off real quick. Yeah, just strip, put on a blue T-shirt or a fucking negligee or some shit, and then run in over there. Yeah, there's a dude that dresses like David Carradine that goes in there, like we see him weekly. Wow. He's like wearing like high heel shoes, a fucking...
Like I said, these guys, they have no problem with that life. It is what it is, but just don't make it a health hazard with us. Don't put it on our door,
cops, We're sitting there, 2 female cops come walking across the street out of Adult Depot. We've both got our phones on, putting it on our stories. All the comments are those strippers?
Yeah.
Are they filming a porno in there?
And they weren't ugly.
Strippers?
They weren't ugly cops. They were definitely San Diego styled,
Southern
women
California looking
cops,
women,
yeah.
like pretty decent looking, like. But
So they were actual cops?
actual cops,
Wow.
legit cops.
Well, yeah. So
and so basically, Chip just starts yelling at him.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I had to tell him to shut up. And then basically, wait, what did he do? He just starts clapping. Like while we're talking to the cops, like he's clapping. And he goes, and he gets to the cop, what if I have my lawyer say in court that I have a condition and I can't stop clapping? And he just keeps on clapping.
And she goes, it's still illegal. And I was like, really? I was like, I'll tell you what, by the time you arrest me and get me to jail, I'll have a lawyer and a doctor saying there that I have problem with public outbursts. Because clapping's not illegal. It'll be, I have rage Tourette's. Because when I get mad, I don't know what I'm saying, which is kind of funny. But many times has he been like, hey, dude, do you know what the fuck you just said? And I'm like, no, I have no idea. And he's like, well, you just told that lady that you were black and had a dick the size of a banana. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And he's like, yes, you did. And then I'm like, well, that's interesting.
He was screaming that across the street.
Yeah, so I just called rage Tourette's or Mel Gibson syndrome, as we like to call it. You know?
That's a good that's a good analogy for it.
But yeah, the cops are like, well, if you keep clapping at people, we're going to send someone else back. And I was like, all right, who? And they're like, not us. You'll go to jail. And I was like, no, I won't. and they basically just wanted us to calm down. And we talked to
them. She said they would have been disturbing the peace.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, if you walked out of your house and stepped in a pile of shit with no shoes on, what would happen? And she was like, I don't know. I would probably call the city and complain. I was like, no, you wouldn't. You'd get really fucking pissed off. You'd look for the homeless motherfucker that did it. I go, well, this is a condom. I go, that's 10 times as gross. I go, what if you slipped on a condom that was covered in poop? And she didn't know what to say. I'm like, you can be honest. I go, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and she was just like, well, it's not about that. It's about harassment.
Yeah,
I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm applauding everybody who can manage.
Because cops don't know nothing about harassment.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, they left. And then one day I was out riding by myself. And in California, you can lane split. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, it means you can go up the middle between the cars. And I had zipped up between some cars and got to a point where the cars were too close together, so I had to wait. And I was going straight, and there was some cars on the right. One of them was a cop. Kept fucking lighting me up, or just lighting up her lights. And I'm just sitting there like, fuck, man. Like, I don't want to look over, because I looked, and I was like, oh, shit. Is that her? Is it one of those cops? And I couldn't, I was just like trying to process it. Yeah. And I was like, fuck it. I didn't do anything. I was like, I didn't do anything except for blast up here. And I was like, I'm going to blast away.
Yeah.
But as I'm sitting there kind of going, what should I do here? The cars are turning right, and she's coming up. And she gets up, and she's like, blip, blip. And I was like, I looked at her, and she rolled down her window, and she goes, hey, that's the nicest paint job I've ever seen on a Harley. And I had my face mask on. I kind of cooked it up, and I was like, thank you. As soon as the light turned green, I was like, got the fuck out of there. It was the blonde cop who was here, who was the actual cooler of the two cops, because they were doing good cop, bad cop. There was a blonde and a brunette, and the brunette was a cunt, and the blonde was kind of just being like
maybe she's just in the bike, dude.
You silly guys. Nah,
she didn't see his face, so she didn't know.
Yeah, she didn't know it was me, but I was like, oh, I remember you. Yeah, it's a crazy neighborhood around here, man.
Well, I've heard stories, and like I've seen some of the stories y'all post me or fuck with people, and I've seen it today actually, like multiple times.
You were in one.
Yeah, you witnessed it firsthand.
Yeah. No, hell yeah, I was. Yeah,
the Jerker Chronicles,
Fast Life Jerker.
So I was. That's where I got this nice stain from, right here. So
from the jerk shop?
No, it was close.
Italian place.
So when I got here, he was like, "Oh, there's a pizza spot around the corner." So I'm like, "All right, yeah, I'm gonna go run over there and get a slice real quick." And then I'm walking around the corner, and I'm kind of on my phone and shit, not paying attention. And there's this dude kind of pacing on the corner. I forgot already that there's a jerk off spot right here. It didn't even fucking register to me. And then as soon as I hit the corner, I saw this dude in the fucking door over here like this. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna be on a fucking video. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, that was soda.
Then I remembered.
Soda Pop Coca-Cola Jerker.
Yeah.
Today. He brought his own soda to the party.
The right thing with this shop is I even see it when I'm here. Like this is destination shop. We're across street from they're across street from the airport.
Yeah.
So dudes that ride, no matter what, they're right here, Uber right here when they get off the plane, buying some shirts, whatever. But another thing that they do is they fucking take photos of the jerk shop and shit. We've made that a part of our destination.
We also now have a dispensary right next door. Give our guys a plug, just so if you guys want some weed, go on over there.
Where's that?
Right next door, Clover.
1 block over.
Oh, no shit.
Clover
Yeah,
dispensary.
yeah. I was gonna park. That's you guys' stuff. No shit.
No,
but your
it's
stuff
not
is there.
us. No, not yet. It will be,
They
but
just opened.
Yeah, it looks nice. It looks
They've been
bitchin'.
trying to do it for a couple years, but it's finally open and it's cool inside.
Rad. Yeah, it looks bitchin'.
Yep.
So y'all kind
Amazing
of
times.
was touching on this a little bit. So your parts and stuff, you know, you were saying about the shop itself. You don't really do as much like service and maintenance work, but you kind of do the you know, bars, seats,
We do.
exhaust,
I mean,
builds.
we don't really have, at this point in the game, anybody who has a Dyna or an FXR, a Sportster that is not brand new under dealership warranty, you know, most guys can change their fucking oil. I mean, if you can't, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, but like, the guys that we deal with usually have a lift at their house, the ability to change their oil, do most of the stuff themselves. So we get maybe, I don't know, a couple services a month. Nothing big. I mean, if we have a bike on the lift and we have it apart and we're like, man, look at this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, dude, you need a service. Should we just bang it out real quick since half of it's getting done anyway? And then, you know.
Yeah, it works out that way.
Yeah. But
So-
nothing leaves here with anything. Like, we always go the extra mile because it's just, you know, it's like, well, yeah.
You know that chopper that you built, the CFL out there, right? Is it CFL?
CFL 2.
It's fucking legit. I mean, I honestly feel like that kind of style of bike is kind of making a
Yeah,
resurgence.
it's about that time to pull that thing down and fucking.
Yeah.
The only thing though is we're old. Like, I've been getting the chopper fever a little bit again too. That's where we all came from, you know.
No, I don't want to put it down. I don't want to do any of that. You know why? Because it's
know
going to
how hard
hurt.
it was to
Fucking
put it up
hurts,
there?
dude.
Yeah.
That's what I was exactly
Yeah,
where
it's
I was
gonna
getting
hurt.
at, dude.
I don't want to wear a kidney
But
belt.
I've been.
I don't wanna-
There was years where I didn't even.
Olin suspension.
I just don't want to pull it down. That was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
There was years where I didn't even look at choppers and shit. You know, like just into what we're doing here. You know, FXRs, Dynas, road glides, fuck everything else. But lately, I've been like, man, some of these you get some ideas in your head, like, oh man, I wish I did that back in the day. And I think about doing it, like, I wouldn't even be that much. What, 10, 12 grand, you know, to put a shit box together? But why? They ride like fucking dog shit. I'm old now. Everything
it's-
hurts
you
a
know
lot
what's
more,
fun?
you know?
Building it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Piecing it
then it's
together,
there. Unless
yeah.
it's someone else's and you're building it for them. Like, look at look at all those choppers over there.
I still have all
You know
my
what I mean?
chopper parts. I got it, but they're all wall hangers, AMF tanks, you know, OG shit. And I could literally pull it all down off the wall, but why? Like I said, I'm not gonna ride it. Fuck that shit, man.
And it's just it is kind of that weird point where I feel like a lot of people have been kind of going back, because I know a couple dudes that are actually building. I mean, you're building one right there, right?
Oh, there's a couple, yeah.
Cock machine.
That's
Yeah.
the dick stick, dude.
Cock
That's
master.
the I Hate Cop mobile.
But how was it like when you built that one versus like how the trend started changing? Like, how was the evolution for you in that time frame? You know. I know the word trend's probably a hard way to put it, but just as like the chopper craze kind of.
I built a chopper because both my parents passed away and left me some money, and I didn't want to spend the money on pot bullshit. So
That's cool.
I got most of that stuff directly through Jesse and Jay at West Coast Choppers. Built the chopper in 2006 and 7, and during that time, I had already built other bikes, so I already knew that rigid bikes sucked. That's why I put little seat shocks on there and stuff, and went, you know, trying to make everything have as much suspension as possible. And then I probably rode it maybe 2,500 miles in its whole life in increments of, like, to here to Oceanside's probably 30 miles, right? And then back is 30 miles, and that would be fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this is bullshit, dude. There's no way dudes are running 124 choppers and getting on these fucking little seats and going, I'm going to fucking New York. Brrr, hit a pothole and go, bah, and then you can't breathe and you almost crash or something fucking rattles off.
Most expensive place to live in the world with the most shitty fucking roads.
Yeah.
Shit
roads we
flies
got.
off your bike. I caught my headlight in my hand once on the highway. I'm like, this shit's not cool.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I had a Dyna. I'm like, there's never, you know, you just cruise
Just
around,
go.
you hit some,
Yeah.
you know, it's FXDX suspension back then was awesome because it was what no one had, and it was adjustable, even though the
You
adjustments.
could get on your bike and just push that button and it started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
fuck.
And you
No
can hit a
fucking
bump
jelly
or do a
legs.
wheelie,
Yeah.
and everything was just plush. And then everything started to move into, I think Jamie Repop, his FXR was the first bike I actually put Olin's on. And the reason I did that is because he got some works for a Dyna, and they didn't fit. It was the offset. And he was like, I'm going to get Olin's. And I was like, really? I've never seen anyone do that. And he was like, I'll fucking do it. I don't care. And he did it. And I was like, holy shit. Well, look at how awesome he made these. They bolt on. Everything's great. All the adjustments are awesome. When you're setting up the sag, it's simple. There's no bells, no whistles. It's just straight read, think, do, ride. And then G got that bike, right?
Yep.
And then he sold it. It's still alive, that bike. But that was my first introduction to like a performance style bike, and then it kind of just spawned like, okay, cool, can I maybe get some Works piggybacks made? And then I kind of called the guy at Works. Actually, I called Russell Collins, and he hooked me up with the guy at Works. And then we started doing trackers and piggyback shocks and shit. And I think then it transitioned into then the 2-over forks came in and started lifting everything up. 13.5 inches in the rear and 2-over in the front just seemed to be the most optimal because it raised your ride height about 1/2 inch, so it gave you the ability to hit corners a little bit better. Yeah, and then just kept going into where we are now. All the other shock companies came into play.
How did you guys? So y'all host the FXR and the Dyna, more of the nowadays performance thing of the Born Free show. How long did that, or what year was the first year of that shit? I've been to two. I've only been to
4 years
I think
ago.
5. I think Born Free 9 or 8. 8 was the first one, maybe.
because
Because I forgot when we were on the other side too.
4 years. Yeah, but we've only done the show over there for 4 years.
The first time we
now.
did the show was when we were in the trees, in between the two trees.
Yeah, no, it's 4 years. We've done that show 4 times now.
Yeah.
So,
So
this year will be the 5th year.
We started it off at our shop. We
Okay.
did
What do we
Was
call
that-
it? On the Run?
On the Run.
Yeah.
We started a bike show called On the Run. Then we had On the Run 2. And it was just a Dyna and FXR show at the shop, kind of like come to the shop and hang out. Because at the time, at the other shop, we had a big cul-de-sac style parking lot.
Okay.
And we kind of ran the neighborhood as far as we had no neighbors. And it was the hood. So we kind of
do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were some wild events there that you couldn't do anywhere else in San
Yeah,
Diego.
we literally-
were in this
we were
little
like, what if-
pocket where we didn't get fucked
We're
with.
like, what if 200 people come? We're like, fuck, that's going to be crazy. And then we're like, fuck, there's 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane. And the cops are just sitting just watching everything going,
Even when
They just let it go,
even when
man.
they were doing burnouts
Yeah.
on the trolley tracks and the trolley had to wait.
Yeah.
Filled with people
Yeah.
trying to get to their destination. They had to wait.
Was that
for-
Buddy?
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
Buddy.
Buddy rode a wheelie up the street and he put it down right in front of the police station. And we're like, what? It was just sitting at 4 or 5 blocks. Just like, what is he doing? And blip. And then he came ripping back right by the cops. And we're like, and are they not going
We
to do
just sat
anything?
there and
Yeah.
watched it.
I think the cops were even just like, look, man, these guys put up with this fucking
For once.
fucked up neighborhood all the time. Let them
them
do
have
what the
it,
fuck
yeah.
they want to do, man.
Yeah.
They're having to hose shit off their sidewalk and there's nothing they could do. Like, I think they just let it happen, which was odd for San
But
Diego.
that's what
Very
started
odd.
it. And then we hooked up with Born Free because we'd always go there and vend. And we're friends with Mike Davis and Grant, and we were just chatting about how, hey, most of you guys who are in the choppers fucking have FXRs, or if not FXRs, like shovel heads with suspension and shit.
Yeah.
FXEs, early model FXRs, stuff like that. And that was kind of just, we're like, hey, can we do an FXR show? Then it was FXR and then Dyna, 2 separate days because Born Free's 2 days.
Yeah.
And over the course of the past year, we started adding baggers, which hasn't really caught on yet because the Born Free crowd is predominantly shoppery and vintage. So to bring in a 2020 bike and have them it be accepted, it's
It's almost like the chopper kid now is just starting to he's just starting to accept FXRs.
Yeah.
He's on that level, an
Well-
early FXR, shovel FXR. He's not ready for a fucking 2018
I would-
Road Glide yet.
I would say that,
but
like-
we'll see him soon.
As far as the baggers is concerned, like I know for a fact, like you've been rocking the performance bagger stuff for years now, and I know that you guys know people that have been doing it here for years. But
Yeah.
as far as it becoming a big thing, it's still like we talk a lot about it in the podcast with a lot of people that have been kind of doing their thing with performance baggers, and honestly, I believe this is the year that you're going to see it really start to come out more.
I hope not. 'Cause I'm fucking tired of it already, dude. You know what I mean? It was
Hey,
like,
dude,
I liked
just
it
made a
better
bunch
when
of
it was
parts for performance.
okay. You know what? I hope a lot of people let these guys sell their shit. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, come on.
It's a love hate thing for me. You know, I enjoyed it
when you
it
do
was
something, when you do something new and fresh. I mean, dude, I was the same way with Dixon flannels, man. That was a love hate thing for me. I love Danny to death, but when you're rocking those fucking flannels, 7 years ago, and nobody knows what it is, and now, not trying to
They were
say
Yago 7 years ago.
and now it's like you go anywhere.
These guys love to give me shit because
Yeah.
I'm tight with Danny.
He just nods his head like "fuck you."
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, you've been doing it, and now it's becoming mainstream more or less. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, fuck, man. Like, now it's not cool to certain people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was never cool.
But at the same time, I got all my, like, Danny from Dixon, these guys that make money, they eat off of parts and stuff, and it's like, okay, fine. Let's get as many fucking guys on baggers, performance baggers, as we can, so my friends could eat. That's honestly the way.
I would like to
that's
be
the
the
way I
only
feel
person
about it.
in
Well,
this trend,
it's
please.
called the
But-
industry, man.
But I look back into 2013 when I didn't even have my bike painted yet. All I did was it was this Road Glide with FXR division bars that I had thought in my head that Road Glides have a little bit of stretch to them more than Dynas and FXR, so we got to pull them back a little bit. So I got with Justin and we came up with that G bar. And then so all I had was a prototype of those bars and a Thunder header, and that's fucking it. And I was just like, holy shit, dude. This bike is so much better than any FXR or Dyna I've ever fucking ridden,
But it's also heavier.
Okay. I'm a man. I can handle heavy shit, dude.
But sometimes having a light, nimble
Throw some
bike,
weight around.
having a light, nimble bike, and the ability to be in a jockey position,
and that's just me though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The bagger thing, the Road Glide, it grabbed me so hard. It was like, God, it's just been in front of my face for how fucking long now, and I hated on it.
Yeah.
And look where it's at now. What if then just heavier fork oil in the fucking forks made that much of a difference? Every little, I feel like Dyna's, you got to do a lot of shit to make that bike not feel like a wobble wagon through the fucking corners, Where a Road Glide, straight off the lot, you're not wobbling. You might be doing some other shit, but you're not wobbling.
Yeah.
You might do a little wrestling, as Chip would say, a little heavy, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I would rather muscle a bike than fucking be wobbling on it where it's trying to buck me off it. You know.
Here's this performance bagger thing. I think there should be another term, because a performance bagger should be something like Eric's bike.
Yeah, I guess even the term performance bagger is almost like an oxymoron.
Oh, yeah, totally is.
And like, so I get what you're saying. I would say a accessorized with performance parts bagger to make it more comfortable, because a performance bagger needs to have, you need to be like this and down low and ready to fucking go, because the performance aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying a drag bike, but something similar, a street drag bike. Like some of those dudes who came in here the other day, we get random people who walk in and, you can, can't really judge a book by its cover. And the dude that came in here just kind of was pretty straight laced. He's like, yeah, this is what I do. I have a Road King and I street race. And I'm like, everyone street races. And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, what kind of motor you have? And he just kind of lit up his motor specs. And I was like, interesting. I go, what horsepower you have? He goes, 220, 240. And I was like, all right, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah. He goes, you want to see a video of me losing? And I was like, sure. He goes, this motherfucker beat me. And he showed it to me. That was he's a legit street racer. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's a performance bagger to me. He set it up with actual.
Agreed.
He made his own mids. He didn't buy ours. He's had it for years. He's set up like this.
Does he ride it to the track though?
Yeah, that's what made me even more impressed. Is he
wanted an extended swing arm, and I was like, you don't want to put an extended swing arm on that.
But
he keeps losing because he can't keep his front end down.
Yeah.
So I was like, you need straps, man.
And I think about
strap that front down.
Yeah.
Let's just say that guy who was here in our shop, put him against someone like the Canadian guy, the Canadian performance guy. Fucking smoke that dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, when I think performance though, I think how fast can you get from here to Julian? How fast, which is twisty
power.
roads.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
power,
And it's a mix of highway and it's real riding. It's to me but that's just me being from San Diego.
Yeah.
A guy from Florida doesn't even know what a twisty road is. That whole state's a giant grid. So their performance is how fast can you get from one light to the other.
Yeah.
To me, I want to see how fast. It's a trip to me how fast I can get this big, heavy fucking bike to not get passed by the dudes with the leather suits on and shit. You know?
I would like to say that 2 hours into this podcast, as we're talking about performance baggers, Jimmy from Horsepower just texted me out of nowhere and just said, "You're slow." Hey Jimmy, fuck you. You're slow, buddy.
Well, that is kind of a debatable thing about what is the more correct term of, and we've said it before. It's like performance bagger is kind of like more of a riding style of baggers, as opposed to
high speed touring bikes is what I would like to call it.
But I mean, the thing is that the word performance just fits. It rolls off your fucking tongue a lot better than like set up for twisty roads, T-bars and mid controls and this and this bagger, you know, and then it, you know, like with you don't want to say club style bagger because it's not really a club style thing. You know, that's a different style of motorcycling. Would you think, or what?
I think to have a club style bagger, you would have to be in a club.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's
I think to have a club style anything.
I try to keep club out of anything when it's not in a club.
If you're not in a club or you're not, don't know about it. Just say I have a bike
have a fast Harley Davidson.
Yeah, I have a black bike with a fairing. You don't be like, club this and that.
A lot of people though, man, they want to feel like they're especially like when you start going east, man, from here. It's like people that aren't really connected to anything like what you guys are and have. Like they just, you know, nobody knows about it. Like if you go to Dallas, we have maybe 10 baggers in DFW is a very big area, very rich motorcycle area, big, you know, drag, all kinds of shit there, right? But we got maybe 10 people rocking baggers with T-bars on it in that whole fucking Dallas worth.
It's not big in the demographic of baggers.
It's just growing, but it is growing.
But the other thing is I mean, Mikey and Gio both tell you that it's not the most optimum. It's optimum when you're riding. Trying to move around a bagger with T-bars sucks.
Yeah, it
You
does.
know, it makes it top heavy. You know, the Road Glide, for instance, has a tipping point, and when it goes, you're not Superman. I don't give a fuck how many times you go to the gym. It just goes poof, and that's it. And when you have the T-bars on, you're extending your arm like this to try and wiggle it around. That's very uncomfortable.
Over the balance point.
Yeah, and if you apply that into a deep turn, you know, where you go, you know, all that comes into play. But, you know, these guys are used to it and they know how to ride motorcycles, so it makes it a lot easier to deal with. The average guy, like me, for instance, I get on the turbo bagger and I'm like, I'm comfortable with it because I set it up exactly how I would want it for me. I don't feel comfortable about the size. I don't feel, you know, I can get on my FXR and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I guess for me,
like
I said, being like riding the Road Glide before and then going to Dyna and then the full fairing FXR, then coming back to the Road Glide was like a familiar place.
Right.
I mean, because when I had that big wheel shit, it was fucking, you know, it was it was a wrestle and it wobbled. You know what I'm saying? So,
The double
There's some
whammy.
guys I hear that build these big wheel bikes with like, you know, 33-inch wheels and shit that have them dialed to where you can just zip around.
dude, I rode.
never did it.
I've ridden mine. I rode mine from Dallas to San Francisco. Like I said, I mean, that was kind of a thing that we started on big wheels because when I started flying back and forth to Dallas to San Francisco to paint bikes, I made all these friends up there. And they all thought I would, you know, I don't fucking ride. So I was like, you know, just as a show, like, hey, I'll fucking ride here, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it became a thing. And then people would hear about it in Dallas, like, dude, I want to do that trip with you. And then we do it and we make different routes and do different shit.
Right.
And then it went from like doing that to hit Arizona Bike Week on the way home to like, let's do that and hit Born Free on the way home. And so it
your
kind of
circle gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
bigger.
So when we started doing the performance bagger thing, you know, it kind of fit because as like traveling on the bike, I have space for everything. 2 pairs of shoes, you know, podcast equip, camera shit, fucking tent, all that stuff. And I can go have this chopper experience with a push button start and I can still kind of do its version of carving canyons and hitting corners.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's motorcycling. I mean, any kind of motorcycling is ultimately fun.
It's a multi-purpose baggers. That's
There you go.
Probably a better.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
To me, it upped the fun. It's like one of those, my memory of kind of, you know, discovering the fucking Road Glide, how good it was. It upped the fun level for me. Mm-hmm. And I can't really sit here and explain what made it more fun. It was just, everything's just better on it, man. It's better for all day rides. It's better for trips. It does everything better. You know, it just outperforms anything else that I've had before. And it's been fun, like seeing like, okay, what happens if I do inverted forward? What happens if I, you know, rear suspension? What happens if I build up the motor? and it just keeps getting fucking better
Snowballs,
and
yeah.
better, you know.
Well, I have a 94 FXR I picked up, and that's the one I want to keep. Like, it's like I think I got a quarter fairing for it, so it's just quarter fairing. I'm not doing bags. I'm not setting it up to tour, more or less, but because I've never really owned one that was just a regular narrow bike without bags on it and shit. So, you know, we can't lane split in Texas, and our
How the
highways.
fuck do you do it, man?
Because they don't have traffic like we do.
Well, we don't have traffic like you do as far as volume.
Yeah.
We have like what the fuck traffic, you know what I mean?
Right.
We have onlooker shit going on from the other side, and then we got, you know, every major highway in Texas is under construction right now. So if you go to Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, or fucking Houston, like the main highway to get in and out is either they widen it just to the point where it's gonna need to be. They're like 5 years behind the curve, basically. Every time.
It's the exact same thing here. I think
In the summertime, if you don't have a bike,
stoned.
you won't get anywhere in San Diego.
Yeah.
It just won't happen. You won't get anywhere, you know.
Well, even when I come out here, like right now, I'm in the car, and that's something I'm dreading. You know, going to LA in a couple of days. It's like when you're on a bike, you know, especially when you come out here on a bike, it's like, fuck, dude, like I can rip here and go there and go see everybody. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
You don't think about the day as far as like traveling to get there.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah, you have to plan that shit out around here.
exactly.
If you
So
want to go, you know.
is San Diego as bad as LA is, or is it?
I think San Diego's
Yeah.
worse sometimes
For real?
because of the distance. There's times in the summer where, so I'm 30 miles from here. In the summer, I leave my house, I get on the freeway. Within one or two exits, you're just riding through a doorway. I call it riding through a doorway when the other cars aren't moving, you know? So I'm riding like that until maybe two exits from here. It's fucking nonstop.
Yeah, so
Wow.
what
Cars
should
aren't
take
moving.
25 minutes takes then 45 minutes to an hour, depending on, because you can't go 60 or 70.
Yeah.
You know, you can in little spurts, but for the most part, you're doing 20 to 40 miles an hour because you have all these people doing this. You know, it's
Some
just two wiggly
parts you get
swings.
it up, but you know, you got to be careful, man, because people don't fucking watch out for you. It is tight, you know?
Yeah.
But at least you're moving. That's what I always say. At least you're fucking moving. These cars aren't going nowhere, man. So yeah,
Yeah, it
SD
sucks.
over the last 5 or 6 years has got, because the whole Southern California comes here for the weekend to do whatever the fuck. There's so much
Arizona,
going on
too.
down here.
Yeah.
Arizona
How-
as
dude,
well.
So I came through from Yuma to here. So like y'all clearly got some fucking mountains and shit to ride. Y'all got some good canyons to ride here.
Oh, dude, it's some of the best riding in the country. Arizona and Southern California, I think, has some of the best riding I've ever seen.
Nice.
Some serious Dave Mann painting shit out here, man. It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful, and it's only 10 miles outside of the city.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you just start hitting corners and stuff, and
Nice.
it is absolutely fucking beautiful and fast. Wide corners, you know.
Are you sponsored by the city of San Diego too?
Dude, it sounds like it.
In the check.
I was just going to say, maybe we should
Fucking-
call
we
it-
should
If
call-
I was, I would have got kicked off because I said Arizona
like,
too.
guys,
Arizona's
listen,
really
he's
good.
Have to reply to the mayor later.
Just so you
and
guys
tell me
know,
what's a check.
I'm now getting a check from the city of San Diego. Why, G? Just because
I endorsed them on a podcast.
Because you guys said I couldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So now,
That reminds me, I got to call Arizona Bike Week and tell them, hey, cocksuckers, you owe me a check. Because I fucking promoted the shit out of that on our podcast here. Never heard a thing from them.
how much do they owe you?
I don't know. I'd say at least 7 guys went out there because of me. So they owe me whatever they spent on T-shirts or whatever the fuck, you know.
Seven guys, yeah.
I promote the shit out of that run because it's so much fucking fun. bro.
I've done it plenty of times, but I didn't do it with the right people. So I actually want to come
You got to
back.
come
and-
out for this one.
The problem
dude.
is we started having this show called Giddy Up in Texas, which is a fucking awesome time,
I've heard.
and now it's gone
Oh,
for
it
the
is?
most part.
How
Yeah.
come? Politics.
Yeah, club politics. Yeah.
So-
But
Skip that
you,
subject.
you looked at me like you knew all this shit already.
No. I mean, because that was it's on my list of things that I wanted to do this year.
No, I don't know if they're going to replace it. They replaced it with another show, but it's, in my opinion, it's missing some key elements that in my opinion, made Giddy Up what it was. But I don't fucking know. Like I hope the best that it can rebuild what was done there.
Right.
You know, because it was a good time, and it's more like one of those parties that you go to, but there's this campground. It's like just. It's like everybody that is there. You know what I mean? It's like a party that never ends, basically, and you're just all set up. So you go to this campground, set all your shit up there, just like you had it. You know, and it's a fucking blast, man.
I don't party.
Yeah.
See, my thing is what I like. I don't like the
Go out
runs
there and
like
do DMT.
like Laughlin.
Oh, man.
That shit's dead to me. That's just you come to our town so we can harass you and fucking give you loud pipe tickets and shit. Fuck Laughlin. Fuck that run. Fuck that town. Fuck all of it.
Definitely not getting a check from Laughlin.
Straight up.
Shit.
But I will change my mind if they're willing to cut me a check. Because that run, I think I could have some ideas where I can improve that run. Yeah.
Well, see, I'm on that fence right now. I'm on that fence right now with Sturgis.
Slide in my DM.
Slide in my DM. The whole fucking city of Laughlin, every casino, everything. I got you. No, but Arizona, what I like about
this
it is
what he's actually doing, just so everybody knows. He's planting a seed right here through podcast-free social marketing.
Yeah. But Arizona Bike Week, the best part about it is a lot of bike weeks, they're on a strip where you've got to wait to piss. You got to wait to buy shit fair food. You got to wait to, it's just all garbage, you know? Mm-hmm. You're trying to have fun. You're supposed to be having fun. You're programmed to, like, this is fun, but it's not. It's a big line. You go there to hang out with your friends and hopefully ride with your friends a little bit. That's what you do at Arizona Bike Week. You actually get on your bike for a couple hours a night, and that because the spots are all, you know.
I want to go do the like Payson and Jerome and all that shit during the Arizona Bike Week.
Fucking beautiful, man. When I rode back from Sturgis, I rode back with a dude that grew up in Denver, and he kept us off the freeway from Sturgis to fucking Phoenix. The only time we jumped on the freeway was for about an hour and a half. Just to cut through Denver, and then he got us right back up in the mountains again. It was all fucking mountain roads. Absolutely fucking amazing. But I'll say the most beautiful roads were Colorado, deep Colorado, like right outside of Durango and Salida and all that. And then fucking 2 hours outside of Phoenix. Payson, all that shit. Oh my God, dude. I mean, I've been hanging out in Arizona for 20-something years. I didn't know that it was that amazing out there, you know?
What are you laughing at?
You're not a Rockford Fosgate employee. You're an influencer.
Let me help you out with something here, dude.
No, I'm talking to the boss right now. She just said. Seriously.
So ask him how much they're paying me.
Well, she said, like, you guys are dealer influencers, Mike and I.
So you guys get paid?
We are now, thanks.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. Fucking there it is.
See?
That's all I'm saying is I'm getting paid. I don't give a fuck what you call it, dude.
No, you're not getting paid. I'm just playing with you, dude. She said she's not getting paid. Neither are you guys.
Okay, let me show you something real quick. You guys just go ahead and continue
conspire against me with my.
You guys are fucking up my paychecks, motherfuckers.
Well, I mean, you started it.
So, you.
Attached is our 2020 sponsorship agreement for your review. Man. If you approve, please sign and send back. Attention, blah, blah, blah.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Bring that back. How do I know that's legit?
How you know it's legit?
Yeah, let me see that.
What, you think he just whipped that up and sent it to himself?
There you go. I won't say any last names.
Yep, I already.
God, I love when motherfuckers try and doubt me, dude.
It never Hold on, man. I'm just letting you guys know in fucking Radio Land that... well, we're not getting checks, okay? Mike and I guess, are, but we get out of here.
Read this.
I'm not.
But don't read it, but just enjoy
shit.
That. Thank you very much.
Can I take a picture of that and tell her she has to match that?
One thing I don't do is bullshit, motherfuckers. Let that be known. So don't bother trying to say I do. Don't say any numbers or anything or anything.
Okay, Danny G, I guess for some reason he's not lying, but I mean, she said we'll get our own personal deal, Mike, you and I, so it'll be off record, of course. We won't discuss it like G does personally.
Yeah.
You guys made me discuss it. Now I'm probably going to get kicked the fuck off Rockford. I'm going to be on Kicker next month.
Tammy, that hurts, man. That hurts, Tammy. I feel betrayed.
If you rewind this audio, Danny G just out of nowhere went, hey, guys, let me fucking tell you guys this. We didn't coerce you.
Yeah, you volunteered that information.
So here's the deal. We'll just get to the bottom of this story. I told these guys a story. Because I thought it was a little bit funny, but they thought it was a lot funnier than I did.
Remember, was this the episode y'all did with Carrie and Big B? Or
yeah, and these guys always talk about how I'm like part owner of Rockford and shit like that. Like they always fuck with me and say I'm like super wealthy and all that shit, make me feel uncomfortable. So anyway, the thing with the Rockford thing was I told them that I hit up Rockford to get a check because I was wrapping my toy hauler trailer, which is billboard out in Glamis, and just it's going to be with other cool brands and other cool shit, and I'm always plugging their brand and doing their thing. And so I run Rockford stuff in my off-road vehicles, my baggers, cars, whatever.
This is when he hangs out with his rich friends.
Yeah. We're not allowed to hang out with
We're
him.
the poor friends.
He won't tell us where
y'all got more than just bikes?
He does.
Yeah, I do.
He's got houses and boats and fucking cars and underground layers and all kinds of shit.
Shoes.
So
a warehouse filled. Yeah.
So
shoes,
I told them that I asked them
ramp.
for money, and basically the top person at Rockford was like, "Let me help you out with something, Danny. You're not a money guy. We don't pay you. Your name isn't big enough. You don't sell enough product. You don't do enough. You don't put enough effort into this brand for us to pay you. You know."
Yeah.
And he just put it on there like that. And he goes, "Look, they were like, that's just what it is for you. But if you're ever building something, your projects, all that, we want to be a part of that, and we'll send you whatever you want." And they told me that from the get. That's the way it was going to be. You're not going to get because there was a time where I was talking to Kicker about doing a signature bagger performance kit
For his
for
performance.
high performance touring machine. But then Rockford told me, but there was
You need a system on the strip.
Yeah. So when I went to Rockford, because the Kicker thing wasn't working out, and Rockford told me, they're like, "Well, look, we don't pay nobody nothing. That's not what we do. There's not going to be a Danny G speaker kit. We're not getting royalties, And I was like, I'm cool with it anyway, because I honestly feel Rockford is the best shit. See me working right now?
Yeah.
I'll just run Rockford for free because it is the best product out there.
God, this is awesome. Very good at this.
This is why I get paid, and you guys make silly noises. You're seeing the evolution here, the difference in quality. So,
What a fucking goo gobbler.
so anyway, these guys fucking fell out of their chairs laughing that my dumbass would ask Rockford for money to wrap a vehicle. They
For
were like,
no
"Gee."
fucking reason.
Yeah, they were like, "Gee,
Yeah,
who the fuck
the
do you
last
think you
vehicle
are?"
he wrapped has a Rockford logo that's like the size of your thumb
Yeah.
on the whole fucking vehicle.
Yeah, we're
And-
talking thousands of dollars for
Yeah.
a thumb-sized logo. No ROI at all.
Yeah, like nothing, dude.
The thing about Rockford, though, is they're in Arizona. I spend a lot of time in Arizona, and I'll do anything they ask me to do as far as if they have questions about stuff, their R&D stuff, whatever. I give them a lot of my time. I really like the brand. I like the people there, So how rad is I don't even feel right about talking good about a brand without these guys making fun of me.
Yeah.
So what I say before, there's no peace in this building.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden, I have that talk with the higher up person at Rockford, which is just a great friend of ours. They're just good people. That's why these guys deal with them too.
Fucking Christ.
So anyway,
Wow. They're just fucking
so now all of a sudden,
great people.
So all of a sudden, this pops
Tremendous
up.
people.
This
Amazing.
pops up
The
in my
best people
inbox
ever.
that they're gonna maybe give me a few bucks. Is it a lot of money? No, we're not talking. I don't want to make it sound like it's big dough, but it's enough to piss these two fucking kooks off. So I love it, dude. I fucking love it. It's just enough to make them go. Like I showed them both the email, and I just saw them go.
Even $50 is enough to make me mad.
$50.
No, you know what? A fucking ham sandwich and $2 and a Coke is too much.
So
That's about $20.
I was talking with Chip earlier, and he said that y'all were planning on bringing back the Night Move stuff again. What's up with that? I
Yes.
mean, it was enjoyable. I
Yeah.
dug it.
Well, Danny G got Rockford Fosgate to pay for it.
Damn. That's y'all's first sponsor, huh?
part
Rockford
of
is
the
going to be one of the
sponsorship
sponsors. Yeah.
Cool. No, it's like, man, like the more, especially like when it's a guys like you guys that are in the industry, you can bring so much more to the table conversation wise with that's interesting to everybody out there, because you have a perspective that everybody that rides a bike can go start a vlog.
Yeah.
They can start a podcast, and they can have compelling arguments, but like real shit to see and understand, like that comes from shit that's sitting at this table right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see more shops wanting to put into that. I know it's a lot of work, man, because I was telling you, like, the money's it's not like something like, oh, he's got a popular podcast. It's free.
Right.
Like it's a free thing that takes a lot of fucking time.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's
timing, the time thing is everything.
Yeah.
Because these guys are crazy busy. I'm always traveling, you know. But I mean, I love it. I fucking.
Oh wow!
Well, I work in Arizona.
I wish everyone could have
Yeah.
seen that. He's like, these guys are crazy busy. I'm always traveling. Like, I'm
just traveling from my one house in Arizona to my other in San Diego.
Yeah, which happens to be
Meaning
on the beach.
I'm working. That's where I go
Yeah.
make my money.
But there is a lot of time involved in that.
Oh man.
I get it, man. Like it could be complicated. That's one of the things I've had a lot of shops hit me up over the last couple of years and asking. It's consistency.
Yeah.
Like consistency is what helps people stay on board with stuff. And y'all have a big enough brand anyway to where you already have a lot of people that are probably itching for more content. Period. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be good to get back out going. Even if you just did audio form, just to make it easier for.
See, we like the video part because then people,
It does.
people can actually see him go.
They can
These
see-
guys work. I don't.
And that we were talking about.
I
that.
didn't mean traveling for fun. I'm traveling
Yeah.
for work. But yeah, no fucking way.
In style.
Is that the way it came across?
It did.
Like I'm always jet setting.
I'm jet setting.
My
G.
Cabo property.
I'm jetting.
Yeah. Well, see, I ended up building a studio at my shop in order to set up a physical place to just do all the video
Yeah,
stuff that I didn't have
yeah.
to travel with it because it's impossible to travel with all the cameras. And plus, I can't set up 4 cameras and then go edit it. I don't make enough money doing this. I don't know how to do that. And I just can't justify that to put something on YouTube where I, you know, you know what I mean? I just can't. So like, what we built was a computer, camera setup, and a board kind of like this that basically, like, if you start talking, I hit that button and that camera shows and it records all, and I can do live streams and all that shit, but it records everything, and then it gives me a file at the end of it. It's already edited. Like it edits.
You can get a little. Cool. There's another app or a program that can go in there that will act as triggers, so you don't have to hit the buttons.
Oh, for real?
And then everything is just
I would
voice
just be
activated
worried
off the mic.
See, I just talked. I would be worried about that because then the camera might be.
Well, you can set the parameters of the camera, like you know, how many milliseconds it stays on one person, and then it switches to the other.
Okay.
Because it's conversation based.
That's cool. That's like I said. The other thing is like I know how to work on a bike and paint. Like this shit is all fucking foreign to me. Like there's decimals and numbers with letters like algebra and shit involved with this stuff that it's like,
that's for someone else to fucking do as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't make that kind of money. I don't have that Danny G money. I guess I got to start talking.
Call Rockford,
now
man.
you're getting it. Yeah. The charade's over, my friend.
There's not a whole lot of people in like my area that's into like video and this kind of shit to where they would want to even be a part of it, and I don't make enough money to be like, all right, here, dude, here's $1,000 a podcast or some shit, you know, like just not that kind of money in this stuff.
That's
you know,
about what it costs, man.
Yeah, I commend you, dude. You've gotten out. Like I've listened to quite a few of your shows, and you get out and you've talked to a lot of people from a lot of different areas. You're definitely you're dedicated,
that.
man.
Well, you know, I don't want to die from fuming or inhaling paint fumes the rest of my life. Like I'd love to like replace some of my paint income with this to where I can paint for fun again. You know what I mean? And not to where everything's like a job for a customer. I can just got this idea. I want to get it out of my head. And you know, and when you airbrush and shit, like you're right here, and if you have a mask on, like it's right there, and it's just fucking annoying. So I can't. So I'm just literally breathing. Every breath is fucking fumes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a scary thing. You know, I'm fucking almost 40 now, and I'm like, you know, what I got 20 left maybe with you know doing paint work like this forever. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's probably when I'll make it. When I'm in 20 more years, I'll probably be at your level. Apparently, is that the level to get at?
I don't know. You're 60.
Hit that devil, that Danny G level, and you start fucking balling, and then I'm fucking gonna die of like lung cancer or some shit. So,
hopefully not. But
I didn't mean to take it dark there for you.
it is what it is.
But no, I think that'd be cool to have y'all bring that podcast back, and I know it's a lot of work. You know, just fuck, man, it is. You know,
but it is a good time for sure.
Dude, they're fun. They're fun.
Oh man, I had a blast on every one of them, man. They're great. You know,
we have a few guests lined up. It's just trying to figure out between fucking
schedules.
Tweedledee,
like the one we did with Hot Dog was like, I'm sitting there and I'm trying not to fan out. These guys deal with him on a regular basis, you know, but I don't get to see that dude.
So,
man.
you know,
he's pretty reclusive. You know,
So
Hot Dog Pete.
So we were at SEMA.
Hot Dog
We were
Pete.
at SEMA together,
Hey,
not
Pete.
like together, but he was at SEMA along with a lot of painters, and he was standing there, and I fucking knew who he was 100%. And I just want to say, hey man, I'm a Jace, I'm a big fan, and I just didn't say anything to him. And the other guy was like talking to me, and because I was doing a podcast with this dude, but I haven't reached out to him to do one yet.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, man, I feel like a dick. I should say something I shouldn't. Yeah, I just kind of nerded out. And was like,
that's the guy right there, man.
I'll call Pete right now when we're done. If you want to go up there and get him on.
I looked at he's in Temecula, so it's off the path we're going. But I usually come to like California like 4 times a year.
Oh, right.
So
next time you're out, man. Sure.
If I can like put together a list of people just in Temecula area, that way I can like just get a hotel there and like bang out 4 or 5 podcasts with different bike shops and people like Pete and shit. And that's kind of the ideal way. That way it's I can afford to do this shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only reason I'm in San Diego, man, honestly, I had planned. We've been talking since before Last Born Free.
Yeah.
You know,
trying to get together. We were supposed to meet up in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be on with Big Chris and Justin.
Yeah. But like I said, until like this thing happened with my wife and her brother, like I just didn't know when I was going to be down here. This is the first one I've ever been here. So far, I've only seen 8 in here.
Yeah. So what do you think so far?
Is that Rosecrans over there? Is that the one they talked about in like the old Dr. Dre videos and shit back in the day?
No.
Or is there another one up in
all Dr. Dre will be all. That's all.
I didn't know if they like was
Compton
like
and shit.
That was
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, there was another one they were talking about that Rosecrans.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
not the Rosecrans.
No,
this
No. They
It was
won't.
kind of trashy over there a little bit, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But then
It gets worse.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, up there's probably way worse.
But no, it's nice down here. I mean, fucking looks just like LA in my opinion.
Yeah, similar.
So definitely, I mean, so far there's like the areas aren't as run down looking as like I would notice like around some parts of like Central LA area.
Yeah.
But a lot more hills here too, though.
Yeah. I mean, shit, I'm riding around here, even just in the city, is more fun, because of the hills and I fucking love this city, man. I love everything about it.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know.
Fucking gotta call the mayor again.
Yeah, city bug. I fucking love this city.
This city's the best, man.
I mean, how do you not?
All the hills.
It is one of those.
Remember when Huey Lewis did I Love L.A.?
That's not Huey Lewis. It's Randy Newman, man.
Was it?
Yeah.
Whatever. Close enough. Well,
Same thing.
I was kind of, y'all were telling me y'all stories earlier. I was kind of like thinking like how, I wouldn't say weird, but a lot of the skateboard culture has kind of evolved into the motorcycle culture. And I had no idea that y'all two were into the skateboard thing, and that's kind of what drew you to fucking California.
He's skateboard too.
Yeah, I know that. I'm
skateboard.
trying to save some of his shit because we got to do a podcast.
Yeah.
So I got to save some of that.
But
he's filled up with stuff to say.
But where that comes from is like being a skateboarder, you get too old to scare the shit out of yourself on a skateboard.
Yeah,
it hurts.
so you hop on
so
a
you get that
motorcycle.
adrenaline. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that same thing. Like skateboarding, all your friends when you're a kid, you fucking go rip around downtown and shit. And
Now you're older.
now you're older and you
Body
do it on
hurts,
bikes.
so you hop on a motorcycle. You got a little more money. You can afford a motorcycle now.
Yeah. It's
Build
a
with a big cage around you,
Yeah,
called a
yeah.
fairing and lowers. Yeah.
Well, I did want to
Riding
bring
the
up the,
sunset.
you guys started working with Harley Davidson and shit, and that's, I thought that when these softails came out, like, I think one of the best things that took place was just seeing all the memes that took place. That was pretty entertaining to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But, you guys started working with them, and I was a big proponent of saying, like, as soon as aftermarket starts fucking with these bikes, then the trend will come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like, you guys doing that first year of that Harley thing, and y'all were the ones that kind of helped do that, right? Like, I don't know the whole story behind it.
It kind of went like when they were killing the Dyna and said the Dyna's dead, their whole delivery, I think, went a little off course.
Mm-hmm.
And their marketing team kind of dropped the ball in the way that they presented everything. And while they were doing it at the dealer show, they kind of had Brandon Quaid call us up and said, hey, will you guys be interested in helping out Harley and us with this fallout about the way that we killed the Dyna? Would you guys be interested in customizing a new softail, which I think it was the Fat Bob at the time. And then they gave it to us, and I was like, of course, man, that was, we do other things with you. Well, seems great. And after we got the bike and we got our hands into it, it was right when Travis Pastrana, what did he jump? Was it Caesars or was it Long Beach?
Caesars.
Yeah, it was Caesars.
Yeah, it was
at that
on the
time.
Indian.
Yeah, on the Indian. So that bike, the way it was set up was very dirt bikey. So that's the mode that my brain was in. So through aftermarket parts, you know, hard case, ODC, we made some wheels, PM did the brakes. I think I did pro tapers, I don't even remember, and seats from Saddleman and stuff. It was all kind of first to market. And I set that bike up to, it was very upright bike. And then I built a motor on it, and that was I think the first M8 that I built, other than our baggers. And I think it dynoed out at like 128 horsepower. So it was a 107 to start, and then I forget, I think it was a 120 or a 124 to end up being. But it's very stout. And then we got one of the first pipes that was made was Chris from Unobtainium made some pipes for Calgary Harley Davidson, and they kind of hooked us up with a good deal on it. He's a pretty top-notch fabricator, so his shit's not cheap. So dealer cost on it was pretty, was for the first pipe was a big hit, but we needed something that we knew was going to perform. And then, you know, all said and done, I liked it a lot. I don't think you liked it.
I don't like the way I like the power, and the way it handled was great. I just didn't like the position that you would ride at, and there was I don't know, there was one or two things on the turn that I thought on the geometry on the bike was super weird.
I think that was the bars.
Maybe.
But once again, it was all very vertical because of Pastrana doing that jump, and I was just like, that bike was just like, all right, let's beam.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I did that, you know. It's kind of like I didn't know why we did the adventure bike when we did the adventure bike.
Probably because you wanted to show that how good that bike can perform. You know, the platform of it alone was good.
It was modular.
And everybody's making fun of it, but it was like, hey, dude, that fucking stock bike right there is as good as your built Dyna, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Those things handle great. I mean,
for sure.
Now that the M8's, you know, 2-3 years in existence, is everything that you want is available for it.
It's all worked out.
Plethora of cam choices, head work, maps, you know, intake systems.
So was it Harley that, you know, like pretty much just reached out to all these different shops and just offered this opportunity, or did you guys help in like some of the?
I don't actually know that part of the back end. I think that was a culmination of Born Free, Brandon Quaid, San Diego Harley Davidson, Ty, who at the time was the general manager. They were all hanging out at the dealer show, and they all saw the same shit go down. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how we came up. Do you remember? I don't know. We just got the phone call, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, send that thing over here, dude. Let's see what happens."
Fucking smart thing for them to do.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that was a shitstorm like no other, man.
I couldn't imagine what it was like here, you know. But I heard stories that like people at the dealer show were like, "What the fuck? You just killed our #1 selling bike," or whatever the case may be. Because
you know, it's funny. It was more of an internet thing. It wasn't so much. The guys around here, these guys know how to fucking ride and shit. You know, people are more in tune here. A lot of the dudes that were bitching was the guy that has a Dyna because it's cool to have a Dyna.
Exactly.
Who won't have a Dyna in 5 years because
and it was just like, what, you just made what I have in my garage not cool, and I just made my whole life about this. I just got a box of fucking t-shirts from these guys.
The best thing that came, the best thing that came out of that whole thing was that the Hitler video.
Oh, that was hilarious. Remember that
Dynas?
one?
Yeah. Trust me, we've talked about that video so many times.
Oh, that
now nobody can know how much I paid for my rear shocks. What the fuck?
Well, how about the softails? Have y'all been doing a lot of work on them as far as getting customers in wanting mods done to them? Or has a softail grown here much?
I mean, we got one right behind us. That's actually the first lowrider S in California.
Real?
We just couldn't get it right out of the dealership because we have stuff to do.
Have you guys ridden that yet?
No, we just finished it. I have to take it and get tuned over at Jimmy's, and then it'll be
a stock bike. Those look
just
bitchin',
waiting
man.
for the, it's just waiting for the pipe. No, that thing's not stock anymore.
That's the lowrider S too.
Yeah, but he did motor work on it.
We did the motor, bars. We're doing a seat for it. A couple other things.
That was just aesthetics, like off the showroom floor. It's acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's got a nice setup. No, we've actually got quite a big softail community in Texas, like this style. whichever you want to call it. But I was wondering if y'all were thinking about bringing on one of these classes at the show or anything for this coming up, Born Free.
It would just be considered as
Dyna?
a Dyna,
Okay.
you know.
As an open.
Yeah,
open show,
Okay.
I don't. The thing about the Dyna class is, and the FXRs, is that you see the same bikes coming, you see the new ones coming as well.
Mm-hmm.
The guys who are building them specifically to try and win, you know, whatever this year's prize is. The Dyna guys, it's just the new style. It's just paint jobs at this point.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of, to have a Dyna show, it has to be kind of either Dynas only, or allow softails in, and then maybe baggers. And it's like, at that point, it's just an open class. It all depends, because you don't want to keep having the same guy win, you know, and the same bike, or have the same bike win with a different paint job.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, like, y'all's show is like still like a staple for a scene, even if it is nationwide, a scene of bikes. So even if it was open, you know, you're not going to get some dude pulling up on his Indian fucking
but see, that's the thing.
Chieftain.
Here's
you know
what people should know. We don't know who the judges are until literally until we're all set up there and we're like, okay, who wants to judge?
Who's gonna
I mean,
judge?
it's never me or Mike, because we don't want to. I don't want to be a part of it, because I don't want him to go, well, you know that guy and you guys work together and that's why he wants. Like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. Sometimes it's him, but we've started to move away from him because, you know,
because he's so tied in.
well, because he might just ask us for a check.
Exactly.
And then we'll be like, wow, how much does that cost to have Danny G judge? Fuck, dude, $5,000, $8,000.
You know, I don't. The judges, it's good to just don't even say who the judge is, because then you got fucking overly excited Timmy McDougal fucking asking you why his stock street bob didn't win. You know.
Yeah.
I stopped putting myself in shows, and I'm not trying to discourage people to go to them, but I just like when you're sitting there with your shit and you just get into this fucking nasty place where you're comparing your bike to everybody else's bike, and that's not it's not a positive place to be when you're looking. You know, when I think that we have a pretty decent scene compared to the other ones I've been involved in. I know that, I don't know, like you get in there, you start looking at your bike and you start getting like, well, fuck, mine's better than him because I got this, this, and this.
Yeah,
and
it becomes a who spent more money thing, and also who has the most parts, but that don't mean shit. Style is everything.
Maybe we should do it that when everybody who enters their bike, let's say it's 30 bikes, those 30 people have to vote.
Oh, here's the problem with that. Hey, you vote for me, I vote for you. Hey, man. Hey, I just followed you on Instagram. You vote for me.
Yeah, but I would be like, me vote for me and you vote for me. Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
What about? What if everyone's voting for me?
That's not gonna work.
That's what happened with in the bagger world, the big wheels. Like there was a couple shows that started that were real legit, and they had like it meant something to win the show. Like it meant something to people involved, because like, oh fuck, that bike is sick. It won this show. Yeah. And then what happened is when they started allowing everybody to judge it themselves, and then everybody saw what took place to win the show, they're like, okay, well, that didn't mean the same. Yeah. Like, is that really the baddest bike in Sturgis? They're the baddest bagger? Like
the same thing also happens when you do like the People's Choice. Like a dude will be like had like 10 or 20 friends with him. Like, oh, vote for my bike, vote for my bike. You know, it's just,
which is just kind of an odd. It's an odd jockey fucking mentality too, man. Where it's like, dude, it's a bike show. It's the reason to get everybody together and have fun, show off your bike, be proud of it. But the whole like you know, having a technique to win the show that's outside of what your bike is fucking lame.
Yeah,
it is.
Hey, everybody, vote for me. It's like
you know what's really cool about the show? Shit. What's cool about the show that y'all do at Born Free is that like you for someone like me in Texas, you show up and you're like, holy fuck, that's the dude from Hard Case Cycles or Performance, or where it's Performance.
Yeah,
Hard Case Cycles. You see all these people that you've been following on Instagram who are like, fuck man, I've always wanted to see this bike. Like you guys would always have y'all's bikes on the the pedestals out there and shit. It's like, fuck, dude, like. Fuck the show. Like I'm just sitting around, I'm like in an Instagram chat room right now with all the people I like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a much cooler spot. And I've always felt like that show in general, awesome show. The whole Born Free show is badass, but I've always felt like when you park outside and as you're walking in, like you're passing Dynas and Dynas and Dynas and a couple Sportsters and FXRs, and then you get to the actual show and there's like a pile of choppers in the middle, and there's some fucking amazingly built bikes in there. But it really is like the Dyna, the softail, and that culture that really like seems like it's feeding the tickets into these shows. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing I was saying about Giddy Up. Is Giddy Up, best show we have in Texas, hands down, for just its authenticity. But you go in the parking lot and there's all these people on these softails and Dynas and shit there that are just like, they don't have anything. But then devil's advocate, those dumbass dudes also won't go to a fucking Dyna FXR softail or a Sportster show and support it because they want to go hang out with chopper chicks. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird fucking.
So what do you call chopper dudes now? You call them chopper chicks?
Chopper chicks, yeah. They wear Daisy Dukes in Texas.
But I don't know, man. I enjoyed that first show, and it was fucking an eye opener just seeing everybody there. And I saw, this last year, Born Free, I went again. I didn't put my bike in there. I didn't know y'all were doing a bagger class until like the last day, which we had only planned to be there Saturday only. And then I had come up and talked to you because you were talking to Justin and.
We announced it for probably 6 months. Just saying.
The bagger part?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing the bagger part.
Yeah, for sure. Both.
I got to get you guys on my algorithm.
Yeah. Or shadow band.
That's probably, dude. I barely see shit from you guys. Like, realistically, I think when I was I follow individually you guys, but then like the page itself, I was looking for. I typed in search and I saw it, and I'm like, looking at all the shit. I'm like, dude, I never see this shit. I see the same 8 dudes always on my fucking Instagram, feed.
It's their algorithm, man.
Yeah,
Mike and I
strange.
recently learned a lot about back end.
They change it
Internet.
constantly, though. That's the problem.
So Vans actually has me. I go take a class at Instagram in New
real?
York. Yeah, they send a bunch. All the top dealers that do like online business and stuff. So we could just talk to the top, whatever marketing person at Instagram. Ask whatever questions. They're teaching us tricks. On how to do what. It's not as they're still tight-lipped about the whole shadow ban algorithm thing, whatever.
A lot
They're
of
not going to
controversy
tell
in
us
there.
certain stuff, but it is pretty neat to go there and see like how it really works and what the deal is with all that stuff.
I thought you were gonna give us a tip or trick on that one.
Nah, there isn't.
Dude, did you read my mind? Holy shit! The whole time I'm like, finish your sentence, dude.
That's constantly like I'm selling something now.
I'm like, wow, man, this is great.
You going
At
full
Instagram
influencer.
at Danny__G.
It's
I
kind
think
of
it's 6 underscores. Or 4.
I mean, if you really think how much money you've made, these guys have made, and I've made off of Instagram
yeah.
for free. Crazy.
Oh, it's a lifeline for everybody
It's a
these
trippy
days.
thing, man.
oh for
How
sure.
did,
Dude,
how
I
did
met
we
my wife on
exist
Instagram.
before it?
It's wild.
Did you really?
Yeah. Like how did you do business before? Like how?
You know what I used to do? I used to go to bike nights. Hey man, my name's Jace. I can paint bikes.
Yeah.
Let me know if you want. And then I had to. I got price shopped all day long. I had to compare, and I had to beat this price and do this.
Can you even remember pre-internet? I can remember AOL, but I don't think I can remember before AOL. Like how I remember having a beeper. And
I remember
pager.
having a beeper, no internet.
I had Skynet, where you can get the whole. Remember that?
Skynet.
Or SkyTel, whatever it is, where you called and the operator
Remember how much
answered.
work it was to get laid in the beeper days? They had to page you. Then you had to find a payphone that worked. And you had to call them.
You guys had beepers?
Set up a time.
Hell yeah!
Fuck yeah, man.
Do you know what? Do you know what?
yeah.
Do you know what a
Dude,
beep?
we
We're
ran
only
the
like
streets with that
6-7
shit.
years older than him.
That's
So
a big. Okay, so like.
That's a technology gap for sure.
Yeah, so when I started high school, y'all were a year or two out of high school, basically.
Yeah.
So
What's high school?
or not.
Yeah. That's true.
You never wanted that 911 beep, right?
Yeah.
Fuck 911, God damn it.
That meant get over here quick. I need weed.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of that. Like it's so far gone. Past
911. Then there was 304, which was hoe. Someone was calling you a hoe.
420 911.
Do you remember when car phones were in bags and you plugged them into the cigarette lighter?
If you made a call, it was like $50. You did it on one of your friends' parents because there was always that one dad who had it. Don't ever touch that.
Man, I
He
have
gets a bill
I
for
have the
$400.
best story about a bag phone, but I feel like it made such news. Like I feel if I tell it, somebody's gonna call me on it, so I don't want to tell it. Just know that it made in the newspaper that we had a bag phone and the bill was extremely high, and we threw it in the ocean off of South Padre Island in Texas, because we were like, let's go as far as we can and get rid of the phone because we thought they were chasing us and everything.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, my mom called me and I called her and she was like, dude, what phone are you on? And I told her and she was like, get off this fucking phone. Call me collect. She's like, you guys are in so much trouble. And I was like, man, that's enough details about that story. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to think though. Like if we had the easy means to get laid, like you know, say someone that graduated high school in 08 or 09 or 10.
Yeah.
Like you had cell phones, and then now you got apps to go get laid on. You got, I mean, MySpace was real helpful for
When
me.
we were in high school,
Oh my God,
vaginas had hair. Now they just don't anymore. It's fucking bonkers, dude. Chicks are crazy. I mean, it's just that they've gotten rid of hair, so that's.
Are you saying you want hairy vaginas?
No, I'm saying that when we were in high school, girls had vaginas. Now, I mean,
They don't have it now.
If they have a hairy vagina, chances are that hair is going to follow all the way to the anus. And then when you're behind them, you don't want to see a hairy ass. Like, you just don't
yeah,
wanna see
I
it,
know, but now it just doesn't
We're
grow.
blessed now that they
Yeah.
take
You
care
know?
of that. They rip it
It's
off.
amazing. Go to any local strip club, and it's
Do what they
like,
got to do, you know?
wow, it's just gleaming.
It's gleaming.
Imagine the maintenance it takes to
flake
be a
in there.
chick. To
Imagine.
be presentable, you know?
Dude, dudes are like that now, dude. Tell me y'all ain't manscaped at least once or twice in your life.
I keep it tight, dude. You kidding me?
Dude,
High and tight.
I look like a fucking gorilla when I take my shirt off. Dude.
I did it.
fucking manscape nothing.
Mine has a Hitler mustache.
You can just see like a dude that's like full hairy, and then it gets to his junk and it's all manicured. Like
It's all perfect.
Oh, yeah.
he cut some fucking vanilla ice lines in it.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Lightning bolts. That'd be hilarious. Vanilla ice lines.
Oh shit, yeah.
And what's
I don't-
rad is we probably think that looks good, you know, going all clean in with the girl. Like you take your shit off and they're like, oh great, there's that big white fucking patch of nothing. You know what I mean? Like hair and then this bald tool coming out. What is that? Just fucking, they're probably like, just put it in and turn the lights on.
Oh man, you guys,
Get it away from
do
me.
some DMT, dude. Those you don't even have a body, let alone a dick. You don't have a head or
Don't worry
anything.
about
None of
it.
that shit matters. It's like you're just blasting around, man. Who knows where?
Walking around in my hairy meat suit.
yeah, it's just a meat suit, dude. It's all it is, and one day it'll just deteriorate.
Yeah, that's happening.
Back to what you were saying with the kids these days, though. He just made me think of Mike from Oily.
Why?
We hang out from Oily.
Mike's who you met today, who was here pre-show.
He's like my son,
The
dude.
taller kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That motherfucker, he's as real as it gets, man. The dude, he'll still sleep in the dirt, you know. Rides the shit out of his bike, has fun. He's being a kid, you know. And
But he's not a kid; he's an adult.
He's an adult, but he's a young blood. He's out here doing his thing, you know.
I call everybody under 30 a kid.
Yeah.
He's over 30.
Oh, he is.
I'll always see him as a kid because I've known him like pre-tattoos. So you look at him now, and he
you
looks
guys,
like a,
if you're over 40, then you can say everybody under 40 is a kid.
yeah. Oh yeah, everybody's definitely a kid then. So, but for Moily, you know, even when I remember, just that's how I knew I was getting older too. Is I was single last summer and fucking hanging around him, seeing how he ran it because I never did the Tinder or any of that shit, you know. He could fucking pre-book out chicks. Like he books them out for 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Like
I think you're busting his like.
No. Well, maybe it was 3 summers ago. Then I don't know. However long his chicks been with him
He's
or
got a
whatever. You know.
girlfriend now, dude.
And so he has one now. What was he dead before?
Trust me, our
Fucking
demographic for women.
No, it's
listening
his
to this
first
is low.
girlfriend. He did nothing before that.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. And I was thinking of Mikey Fontaine. So my friend Mikey Fontaine, you know,
Wait.
he had the pussy all over the place, dude. We'll have to find out what the deal is.
They're whispering right now.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Whispering
know.
to the mics.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
another
dude,
friend.
my brother's the same way. My brother's 25.
Jeff Wilson.
My brother's 25, man, and you know he did the same thing, man. I took him to Cali once, and we're in NorCal hanging out, fucking with all these dudes. I guess I understand why now when I say it in that turn, but we're at Buffalo Wild Wings drinking, having a good time, and then he's on Tinder out there. Like, dude, we're here tonight. He goes, dude, that don't matter. Like, you can just get on that website, fucking meet a couple girls that night, go fuck, hang out, do whatever, and then that's it. And then tomorrow they're out. I was like, damn, that's easy.
2020.
Rick was all about that life
Yeah.
too. For a
Living
while.
in the future here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't say that because now he's going to get in a fight just because you said Rick was all about
Well,
that.
when we drove to Sturgis that one time, remember, we got hold of his Tinder and liked every single chick
In
until
Utah.
every single female in Utah that was on Tinder.
Everyone until
got
Tinder said
swiped
you
by
ran
Rick.
out of likes, and he was like Tinder Pro, like paid the money.
Oh, shit.
And,
He had the premium account.
and then
I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it. You know what I mean? I back that 100%.
yeah,
You know?
but then he got a girlfriend from it, and she came here with her daughter, who was a train wreck. Like 16-year-olds going, "Hey, fuck you, mom!
Yeah.
I want a bottle." That kind of train wreck.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
she kind of looked like his mom.
Kind of. Yeah. It was weird. Sorry,
You're dating your mom, dude.
sorry,
Come on.
sorry if you listen to this, but it's true.
Jesus Christ, dude.
What's the problem?
What?
Wait,
That's
you just say
fucking
with all due
true, dude.
respect.
What?
With all due respect.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I'm sure his mom's good looking.
You can say whatever you want.
She was nice. I mean, I'm not saying she wasn't nice.
Yeah.
Just imagining
I
Rick
don't know.
listening to this.
Hey, even
These
my
are
wa-
my friends on
hey,
the podcast.
We love, but we love Rick.
Even
Rick's
my
awesome.
no, even my wife was like, "Hey, is that Rick's mom? Like, what? Who's that old chick with him?"
In fact, right now I'm going to text him and tell him we're talking about him, just because.
We'll probably have to edit it out. That's not very nice what we're saying about our friend.
Really?
I don't know.
What did we say?
That he dates his mom?
That's not what we said.
Oh.
I told him. I said, "Why are you dating your mom?" Are you rolling up to the show with this old ass bitch for? Like, come on, man.
That's now you're kind of pushing it because he's not here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, I guess back to motorcycles.
Well, you know.
Doesn't have to be.
Whatever.
But
I was joking. That chick was actually really nice.
Yeah. Her daughter was a trip, but whatever. She didn't really look like Rick's mom. It's just fun to say. She looked more like just a lady from Utah.
dude, I heard Utah's nice now up there in Salt Lake. Y'all go up there much?
No. Just when we're driving through it, which is once in a while.
Y'all doing Sturgis again this year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the drag races on Thursday
I heard
night.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Be cool.
just run what you brung and a couple classes with a bunch of cool prizes and some money.
Where's
And,
the drag it strip at there?
Sturgis drag strip.
It's kind of
it's
right between
between-
Buffalo Chip
yeah,
and
Full Throttle.
Full Throttle.
Oh, okay. Like on that one road that goes all the way
Yeah.
up there. Yeah.
And we're going to be set up at Harley at Full Throttle. So we'll have activation there. We'll have a bunch of bikes and shit.
So you'll be at Full Throttle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll be right with Harley Davidson.
I think we're doing a bike show on Saturday, the last Saturday of Sturgis as well, at Full Throttle, sponsored by Harley.
We are.
Yeah, remember with Mike, Born Free. It's a Born Free STC Harley deal.
Yeah,
Plug.
I have
Harley
to ask you
Davidson.
what that is because I think we've always gone for that middle weekend, I guess, and then we're usually out by like Tuesday. So like we did Jeff's show, V-Twin Visionary show, and then this year I just did that, and then fucking about 1 o'clock I was like, I'm fucking riding home, so I went and got my shit and just rode back to Dallas that night.
No way.
Yeah.
This is over the last tail end of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
not the first weekend, but the last weekend.
This year instead, I think we're gonna skip Born Free this year and just do a big northwest ride. So we're gonna do Sturgis and then continue going northwest. Maybe go to Idaho, maybe even Washington. I don't know if we have enough time for that, but way up north, Montana, and then come back down, like kind of just loop it out a little bit. And I was gonna do Laconia this year. I've never done that rally or that event, and I've never
neither.
even ridden northeast. So all these places where you two are from, like I've never been there. And
It's fun up there.
I want to see it. We're starting to get a listenership there, and just I want to experience all these fucking rallies. That way, if someone asks me about it, I can be like, it's pretty. I had a good time, or that shit was gay as AIDS.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So, just
You
something.
do Daytona at all?
I did Daytona 2 years ago, and I'm doing it again this year for a.
I'm hearing it's coming back a little bit. It's kind of cool.
We're doing Daytona this year.
Y'all are?
Yeah.
Where y'all gonna be?
Russ Meyer. Is that
Russ
what it's
Meyer,
called?
yeah.
Jeff is just talking about.
Why are you laughing?
You're doing Daytona. I'm not doing Daytona.
You're doing Daytona.
Well, you
Fuck
might want to go to.
Florida with 47 bags of dicks. I'm sorry.
Nah, we're gonna
I'll
roll
tell you what,
in.
though,
We're
man.
gonna do our
if
thing.
Jeff
We're
does
gonna
what
roll
he's
out.
talking about doing, a big ride with everybody from Daytona to the Keys.
I'm already
that's
fucking
a
doing it.
bitchin' ride.
And we already talked about it. I'm gonna have to talk to his ass because he's gonna have to stop using my ideas. So I need to get a check from that shit.
Yeah.
No,
V-Twin Visionary, get cutting.
No, we talked a little bit about it when we did the podcast, but I haven't heard nothing about it. But I'm doing Keys because I haven't done it.
Yeah. Nah,
And-
Keys are awesome, man.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ride the West Coast down and do the Keys, and then come back and do the Daytona for like 2 days or so.
Yeah.
That's about as much Daytona as I can deal with.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's cold. The last year I went, it was fucking freezing, dude.
When it gets cold in Florida, it's a different level of cold.
Yeah,
man.
it's like
right off the water.
Yeah, you're like
Cold
there,
in Florida?
dude.
Fuck yeah, man. When it
Daytona
gets cold,
is cold, dude.
You're
Oh,
right
wow.
on the water, man. So it just blasts off.
Apparently, I texted my source for the DMT, we'll call him, and I sent him a picture of how much I did. So I'd like to show it to you guys so you know how much I did. So that piece right there, Mike, was the size of what I did. That is what I was supposed to do. So
Looks like Cracker Jacks.
that is what you will do.
Or broken teeth.
But you see what I'm saying? And that, you know what that is right there? You know what that is? Ego and gluttony.
Did you find that out last night?
I mean, I think I just figured it out right fucking now.
God, it does look like it reminds me of the one time he punched a tweaker in the face over here and he dropped his tooth on the ground and that's what his tooth looked like. Brown and fucking fizzled out, you know?
Kinda
So
did.
gross, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's,
It's a lot.
yeah, he was just checking in, making sure he didn't go postal. Like, man, whew.
So it'd be cool if y'all did a show there. I hope that he does, because Daytona does need some life put back into it. It's one of those towns, I think one of you had mentioned it, but it's like you're there and you're trying to spend money, you're trying to have a good time, and they don't fucking want you there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
really?
Yeah.
It was like a Laughlin
Like
for
a
a little while. Well, they had a lot
situation.
of, I mean, early days. I used to go there when I was 15 and stuff, you know, and just try and survive it because Daytona Skate Park at the time was the fucking skate park. So my pops would be up there and all that. So we'd go skate and then go hang out and try and survive with my pops and his friends when it was fucked over there. Shit would hit so yeah, the cops, Daytona in general is fucking, it's not a motorcycle city. They fucking hate it, man, because of all the damage that would get done in the late 80s, 90s and stuff. And then it became just nothing but a harassment run. You know, come up here, spend your money, and we're going to fucking pick your bike apart and give you fix-it tickets.
Yeah.
But now I'm hearing that they're lightening up a little bit because also it's a struggling town as well. Daytona's a fucking shithole town.
Yeah, they
For a
rely
Florida
on a
coastal
rally
town.
and races.
Yeah.
You know?
So now they're kind of inviting it back and making it kind of cool. And I'm hearing
So-
these guys are doing some, you know, there's some FXR shows and stuff going on there. You know?
I'm gonna be real honest. If Sturgis is like it was this year with the cops, it's gotten progressively worse than Sturgis to be able to just ride around and have a good time.
I'm telling you, they will kill that fucking run, dude.
Yeah.
People won't go.
I got a ticket this year for going around a car in a lane, in two lanes, and I went around the car and the cop said you crossed the double line. I'm like, it's a 2 fucking lane road, dude. He goes, and then I got a ticket and he's like, I can't fight it because you have to go to court that
right
Monday
there, yeah.
and pay it. And I'm like, dude, you just made up a reckless driving ticket that I had to pay. Like, that's a serious ticket, dude. He ended up downplaying it to what's under reckless? It's a lesser one. I don't know, something else driving. That's not as bad.
Yeah.
Careless.
Careless driving.
Either way, it just sucks. Dude.
I'm
Yeah,
like, reckless. I'm like, what is still kind of reckless, but worded differently? Careless is pretty.
And then another buddy of mine that was riding with us, 20 minutes before that, we were ripping like through Spearfish Canyon, pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
We deserved the ticket, but still, bro, don't give us a ticket. We're here to spend money.
Yeah.
That's just another revenue stream.
Yeah, and they were these cops weren't from there. This dude was fucking like he was.
They fly them all
import
in.
them,
Yeah, they
import them
fly
in.
all the cocksuckers in. We got lucky. We got pulled over doing like 80 and a 50 or some shit.
You did.
know?
I didn't.
Yeah, Mikey. He got lucky. He kept going. Me and Chip got pulled over, but somehow we got a warning. You know.
That's
And
cool.
he basically told Chip that he needs to go back, put pants on,
Yeah.
not ride around in shorts.
I'm like, why? It's hot out, and I don't plan on crashing.
Yeah. Well, they do the glasses thing, like if you don't have any kind of eye protection on, which most of us wear helmets anywhere all the time. We're ripping around anyway now, but
Tell you what, if you ride around in Sturgis with no glasses on, you're an idiot because those fucking dragonflies out there are like the size of fucking eagles, man. It's a different fucking deal out there, man.
Eagles.
so what do y'all? The CVO, you're on that kick too now.
No.
Everybody's been saying CVO now.
I was kind of gonna do a live wire, which was our plan, and then Harley had some corporate changes and did some things where I couldn't get a live wire for some reason, and they asked me what I would like and to replace the live wire.
We were gonna make it sound like a Pac-Man.
Yeah, I had a whole plan, man.
So, do you really like that? I mean, are you serious? Like, you wanted to do something to the live wire to kind of liven it up?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
we had a whole plan.
So this is when these guys get to.
You know how fast that bike would have been?
It's free.
That would have been like the Tesla Roadster.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, he's got, we've talked to, let's just say, Mr. X from Company X, and he told us, like, hey, dude, you can make this thing turn into a fucking rocket.
Who designed X.
Yeah, he just said, just give me a call. And
gave us his number and said, hey, we can do anything you want to that thing.
And then he said, I heard you're going to do this. And I said, what did you hear? And he said, you're going to put Pac-Man in there. And I said, yep. And he literally looked at me, he goes, where are you going to put it? And I was like, well, I'm going to put it in the firmware of the sound module. And he goes, where's the sound module? And I pointed to it, and he just goes, you're the only one that seems to know that. And I go, what do you mean? It makes noise. It's fucking pretty easy. Just follow your ear.
Yeah.
And that's all I did. And then I have another friend that works at, we'll say, Company Y. And he just said, dude, get me the firmware thing, and I'll break right into that fucker. And
wow.
Company Y actually designed it for Harley, so... we figured it all out to where they had bets going that I wasn't going to do it. And I was like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely going to do it. And when we stop, it's going to go, wah, 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 wah. It was awesome. Then they changed the deal.
Jesus Christ. Dude.
Yeah, man. We had everything planned out. We just needed it to get it so we could have it in our hands to take measurements to make things that we knew it needed. The whole front end, the wheels, the braking systems, all that stuff.
I'd be super interested to see somebody's take on customizing one, because I think that, it's maybe a little early for most of us on Harleys, and I know we're not the one they fucking were going after, but
I've ridden one before.
Yeah,
that's why I know.
Yeah,
it's instantaneous power, no lag, and take away, just get on it like it's a normal. Just
how heavy does it feel?
Not heavy at all,
for real.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: you got to figure how many years are the government's going to allow combustion engines. There's a limited lifespan.
Yeah, it may not be our lifetime.
It's probably going to be 10 years.
Yeah,
probably 10
we may
years
start to see it as we get older, but the next generation, his kid, anyone who has kids that are
going to be no
16 to 18
it's
now,
going to be electric.
Yeah, they're got everything.
You know how much more dangerous that shit's going to be now. Fucking rocket
I don't
going
know
down the
if you guys
street.
follow the news, but they just found the largest deposit on Earth of lithium in Mexico.
Yeah, it's where the Mormon communities are.
Yeah, and so that's why the cartels went in and whacked all the Mormons, because there's all these fucking people trying to bid for the jobs to get the lithium contracts to get all lithium, because it's so easily accessible. Yeah. And the Mormons they had their little fucking camp set up there, and the cartels were running and just mowed them all fucking down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, like I said, I think the bike has potential for coolness. Like I said, I'm not buying one personally, which...
Loki, hey, stop.
Yeah, you think you're going to find a charging station in, what, how many miles can you do on that thing?
I don't even remember.
120 if you're
it's a drawback, but it's also, if you're just going to go riding around like we do on Old Man Brunch. We go on Sundays on our huge, long, lengthy ride, which is 8 miles maybe. We go from here, we all meet here, then we ride to the beach, which is about 3 miles, and then we all ride home.
Yeah,
and that's it, because we're old.
And take naps.
Yeah.
Gotta take a nap and get ready for next Sunday.
An action-packed work week in preparation for the Golden Girls.
I actually got to do a helmet right now with Golden Girls on it. But no, I don't know, it'd be cool. The adventure bike thing, when y'all pulled that off, everybody felt like y'all had, like, there was a conspiracy theory going on that y'all knew that the other bike was coming out and went that route or whatever.
Nope. He said to me, what are you going to do? And I go, I don't know. And then I got stoned, and a little bit later he goes, what are you going to do? I go, I'm doing an adventure bike. And he goes, how the fuck are you going to do an adventure bike? And I said, I don't know. And then, right? I mean, it's pretty much, and then I figured it out. I knew what I saw. As soon as I got the chassis down to being a chassis, I was like, all right, this is not.
You could see how you can add, and like how you did the tail section and the higher tank and all that stuff. But now that I finally saw the new bike, the Pan American at the
dealer show,
they did the IMS in Dallas last weekend or the weekend before, and it was a hollow bike, so it was just a shell, but you could see it, and there's like styling cues on it that, like, for someone that I've ridden an adventure bike, but I've never ridden one like for their purpose intended.
Right.
But when you look at like the BMW, which my current bagger, I was on the fence from going to an adventure bike or staying with the Harley, just because of the traveling that I like to do on motorcycles and shit. But the Harley won just because it's in the it's in the DNA more or less. But and I saw that new adventure bike come out, and it's just like there's things about it that I just don't know if it's going to have the comfort that you.
Well, it's a new motor. That's the first thing. Every time Harley puts a new motor in or out, the first years are always, I mean, Mikey.
I call it public R&D.
Yeah, Mikey and I experienced it on our M8s, on our baggers, and
it's a good one.
Blew the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, we blew motors right away, and we had to figure out why, and no one wanted to help us because we put race tuners on. Well, we tuned it. So as soon as they're tuning, I mean, you know how the EPA law is. That's just that. So we're like, well, I mean, they literally said, hey, we would love to help you, but you fucking tuned them. So as soon as they're tuned, they're like, sorry guys. And we had to figure out ourselves what the problem was, why it happened. And through working with S&S and fueling and Hero and Jimmy from Horsepower and all the people in the industry who go for making power, T-Man, I guess, is played a part in it. We figured out all the weak points. And they're still figuring them out. And they're not necessarily weak points to Harley because that Sevo rides just fine as far as the powertrain. Yeah. It's when you do one change. Oh, I'm going to change different cam. Well, that changes the whole fucking dynamic of the way the engineer sat there and did all his math and designed it. And
them coming out with a bike that's a 117 or a 114 that puts out 86 horsepower, like get the fuck out of here with that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean most of the M8s that we do are baseline about $120.
Yeah, I mean, from the factory they all come 86. Like 107's 84. The 114 is 86 and some change, and I think the 117 is like right around 90 and 93.
That's crazy, man.
That's what it is. Off
should
the
always get a horse per cube is optimum.
Yeah. So and then as soon as you put a cam in it, and a cam, pipe, air cleaner, and a tune, you're looking at fucking 100 on a 107. You can be about 107, 108 horsepower.
Yeah.
So you're where you should be. So it's like the question is why not?
EPA.
But then
all EPA, all of
then
it.
Indian drops their shit, and it's like fucking 120 horsepower, and it's what I mean. Like, why is EPA not on their shit?
Different motor, different design. It's all about emissions. Payoffs. I'm sure in the back end, who's doing what.
Definitely some payoffs.
We can get into conspiracy theories of
Indian,
the corporate
Indian
machine.
needs to come out with bikes that have more power than Harley to have any chance of selling them.
Well, Indian is also Polaris, so Polaris has a whole different R&D program than say Harley.
Yeah, for sure.
Harley can get it. Why does Harley sell completely underpowered shit wagons off the showroom floor? Because they can. They've been doing it forever.
For 100 and how many years?
Buying a lifestyle. Well, they're selling a lifestyle as opposed to just selling a bike.
Yeah.
I agree.
Indian can't do what Harley does.
Indian doesn't have that clout.
No.
So.
They're trying.
Yeah, where
Props
you said
to Indian for trying.
It's a short and easy step to get Harley to have a decent, cam, pipe, tuner, and you're there. Where Indian can't do that. They got to give you here's what we got straight off the bat.
Yeah, when they dropped the Challenger and everybody and their fucking mom felt like that going, like if you're especially talking about the performance baggers like we were saying, like everybody's like, well, why would you still ride Harley if this Indian has inverted front end, brakes, power, and the looks, which I never really cared
aesthetics.
For. Yeah,
that's it.
I call it aesthetics, and I also call it blind loyalty.
Yeah,
I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm not gonna ride an Indian because it's a fucking Indian.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I might ride that new Indian bagger. I think.
Yeah, that's not to say it could never get there.
Super fucking dope.
Yeah, I mean the technologies in it is amazing. I mean, it has things that Harley should be well beyond.
There's that's a dual-edged sword because the technology is amazing, and then you stand there and you put your hands on some Ninja 500 hand controls, and you're like, the fuck's going on? Like there's attention to detail that's lacking in that bike, in my opinion.
It all comes to the aesthetics, yeah.
On the Indian you're talking about?
Yeah.
I just when I look at Indian, it don't move me at all. Yeah. And that's it.
I like the Scout and I like the FTR.
The FTR is dope, and I was actually saying I've talked quite a bit about this, about they had so much social media presence when they brought this bike out versus when it actually released is what it seemed like.
Well, social media presence, but who's doing that for them? If they didn't have Big B and Kerry Hart, they would still be Indian. That's in the corner of the.
They have a bunch of skaters as well
Those guys aren't doing dick for Indian. Those guys, no.
I've never even heard of them.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And I barely have heard of them. You know, it's
well,
Kerry.
Roland,
it's make no
Roland
mistake.
as well. Roland is all Indian.
It's Kerry Hart and it's Big B.
Yeah.
That's
basically
that
everybody that was
yeah.
at Elliott's when we went there. That's the.
I get it, but I don't see that. It's not. I'm not making that. I know Cab's riding an Indian. You know, legendary skateboarders. That's great. You know, but Kerry Hart and Big B are working for Indian, and they're making stuff happen.
They know what they're. That's know
something.
Indian
That's
they're creating
Indian
content
smart
as
for
well.
doing that. They're creating great content. They're bringing in some other guys.
He's not going to cut you a check, bro.
Yeah,
seriously.
Indian's not cutting you a check. He just said they stink.
Yeah.
Well, I said basically the Indian hype right now
I roll
is
Polaris, though, dude.
That is true. Yeah, see, he's a dual-edged sword himself.
Yeah.
So that goes to show that my opinion's real, dude. Because I'm an idiot right now for talking shit on Indian because they're with Polaris, where I work with Polaris, you know. But that's just honest shit, man. It is what it is. I don't make a living off this shit, so I don't have to say certain things and do certain things.
You can be honest.
That's why I can joke about it and shit, you know.
Well, that's why we joke about it because it's funny.
I don't make a living off this shit, so that's my honest opinion on Indians. You know, like I didn't grow up digging Indians. I didn't, you know, that's not the. They don't have the fucking heritage.
Like a bad stepfather that's only been around, or a bad father that's only been around a couple times in your life.
Yeah, well, not even that.
That's what Indians
was never around.
Yeah,
you know,
came around in the '90s.
Big B
and came
has
back
his
in the
story.
2000s.
You know, he's got a selling point on it where he's like, "Well, the only thing that saved Harley was they didn't get bought by a piano company." I don't give a fuck about that story. Yeah. That means nothing to me, dude. Growing up, the baddest motherfuckers were on the Harleys.
Yeah.
The whatever the fucks were on the Indians, you know, which was almost nobody. So that was it, man. Like, and that's the way my mindset still is.
True.
Not to say, I will say this, Indian, you're making some great moves. And I used to look at those old chieftains and all that flowing fender crap and all that shit. They're getting away from that, and they are doing the right things to get to where they need to be. They're putting in work, but to me, in my eyes, they got a ways to go.
Yeah.
But the Scout's a bad motherfucker. That's
They're putting groundwork right now that probably in 5 to 10 years might be something that pays off.
You know what they need? They need aftermarket help. They need shops like these guys to start making parts, floorboards for Indians and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a big investment.
You want to know how loyal and how kind of idiotic it is? I won't paint an Indian.
No shit. You're on a whole nother level for me. To me, money's green, man. Give me that shit.
I'm not into it.
I don't know, man. I rode our friend Justin's Indian when he had it here once, and that thing was fucking awesome, dude.
I hear great things.
I would rock one.
I hear great things. And I do respect Kerry and Big B's opinion when they say, like, these are great fucking bikes.
He also had someone make him a cam for it and had to have a dude was it a dude or a chick that worked at NASA to fucking reprogram the module to accept the fucking cam so they could tune the bike. Yeah.
That's I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, you have to have that aftermarket help, man. Otherwise, your brand is just a brand, and that's it. What you get off the showroom floor is what you get. You can only change so much. Where a Harley, you know, these guys in less than a month can make that bike look almost unrecognizable. You know, from what it is right now.
You create like a bond with people whenever like you buy a bike, and like you were saying earlier, it's like these cats can come through here, buy some pegs, buy some bars, and go back in the house with a 12-pack and their buddies in the garage and work on this bike and create like this experience together that kind of brings every fucking buddy together. As opposed to if you buy a bike that you're not supposed to touch and not supposed to wrench on, and there's nothing to buy to put on.
There's nothing to put on.
Yeah, like. You're just gonna sit in the garage and stare at it. That shit's gay. You know what I'm saying? So there is there is a bond that gets created by people using their imagination on these things and making them different, or chasing a trend on Instagram, whichever one. As long as you're hanging out riding bikes, that's probably cool. Yeah, in my opinion. So awkward silence.
I'm like, what are we doing this for? Like probably 3 hours? What time?
Yeah, we're wrapping up now.
We're almost on 3
hours and 57 minutes.
Yep.
For you though, that's not a long podcast, really. Your podcast average like 4 hours.
Well, not average. I have to cut them off at 4 sometimes because it's very expensive to upload a podcast over 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
How long are ours when we do them?
They vary.
A little over an hour.
Yeah,
they're not long.
Ours are more action packed, direct to the point.
Well,
we don't fuck around over here.
We'll do some editing too. If it doesn't, if it falls a little dry or whatever, we can.
I try not to edit much for 2 reasons. I don't, like I said, I can't, just to take this podcast once I finish this, once I get to the shop, add an intro and an outro, do an audio edit trying to make the sound, the levels all right, and then getting it uploaded, putting all the information to upload it, like that's a 2 to 3 hour process.
Yeah.
On top of this 3 hour process of us recording it. So if I had to edit any, like go in and cut this out and then make it sound right, then that's another hour, and it's just not that big of a business yet to where I can justify spending that kind of time yet. So
Yeah.
it's getting there though. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm really stoked about this year and doing all this stuff and having you guys on and you know, kind of filling in that void of the lack of San Diego I've had.
You should probably turn the comments off. You know what I mean?
I'm fortunate, man. I don't have.
Give a fuck what anybody says,
dude.
Oh man, I don't either. That's the problem.
I don't get a lot of shit talking on my social media or anything. Like on the podcast, like the YouTube, our social media, like almost nobody ever talks shit, and I'm kind of thankful for that because I don't know if I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's just annoying, and it's like, yeah, you just have some douchebag somewhere in the middle of
It's
nowhere,
always some
just
30 follower fuckface.
just talking shit. Followers don't even matter though. It could be have 1 million followers. It's like it's just someone.
It's probably some dude who's it's a fake account because he didn't have the balls to say it himself. Like it's
He
that
made it
he's
quick-
that low level of a dude.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can't even say it with your own fucking mouth.
Goofy.
So fuck off.
Yeah, and they tell them
Yeah.
to fuck off, and it
Ahead
turns
of
into a
time.
war, and then blah, 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 it keeps
And Chip
going.
and I are trying to buy plane tickets to
Yeah.
go to whatever fucking town he lives in. And
We have these lists in our phone of people who, in case we bump into them, we can go, hey.
you look
that's-
familiar.
that's
Hold on,
you.
let me
Hold
check
on,
my
yeah,
favorites list
verify
here.
facial verification. All right, you're fucking dead.
that's actually pretty cool.
It's just you never know in life. There's some that make the eternal list.
Eternal.
Yeah.
Well, shit. All right. I guess we can wrap it up. SanDiegoCustoms.com. Is that a good place to go?
That's our URL.
is.
Instagram, San Diego Customs, the Death
Which one are you?
Dealer,
Death
SDC
Dealer?
Mikey. That's me.
Okay, and then STC Mikey's you.
STC
Okay.
Mikey.
And then San Diego Customs
Danny
is
G
the actual
is
shop.
Danny _
7 of them, I think. 7 on
Underscore.
Can we
Underscore
can
G.
we address that real quick before we go out? Can we
That's just silly, dude.
Just change it
Why would
right
you
now.
do
There's
that?
too many,
Yeah, can you
there's too many
change it
people
to,
named
like-
Danny in our industry right now. We have too many. We got Wilson, Danny D, Danny G, Danny Dixon.
Let's just no.
Well,
I just
he's got many names. He's Danny Dunes.
These guys give me a new nickname
there's so
every
many.
day.
There's got like 5.
yeah, let's get rid of all these fucking.
I can. I've tried because there's some other fuckface with 6 underscores. Danny G. If I could find them and deal with them, I would.
Why don't
but
you,
I can't. I'm stuck at
Who's
7.
Who has Danny -G?
Yeah, why don't you do that or Danny.G?
That's you don't think I fucking tried that?
How about
Out
Danny
of all
G,
this
one
stuff,
word?
you think I did that on purpose? I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm gonna
here's
put
the
it
thing.
all the way out
Here's
there.
the thing.
Why don't you put the Danny G?
A long
Because what it
time
is
ago-
I never get tagged in the right shit. It's always some fuckface.
Well, a
you know?
long time ago, I lost San Diego Customs for posting naked girls in weed fields, right?
Yeah.
And then it was gone. That's why Mikey started SDC Parts, right?
Huh?
And one day he just checked San Diego
And it was
Customs.
available. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
So
well,
you
I
should,
should go
you
back
should
there
always
once
keep
in a while,
checking. Yeah,
try.
they re-released it. Look, good thing we got it.
Yeah.
Then
Trust
there's
me,
some
I,
other
I would like
doucher.
to make it more simple, but it is complicated. It sucks.
Wouldn't it be great
I
if you
miss
just
tags all the time?
back
I didn't.
to-
Yeah.
You know how sensitive dudes in this fucking.
What was your
industry
Imagine
name?
it was
Yeah.
just Danny
Fuck
G.
so
Like
fuck
that's
cool.
it.
Yeah, what was your
Can't give me a shout out. Like I don't
What
even,
was
I
your
didn't even know
name?
you did that. Dude.
What was your name back in the day?
Danny G Death Squad?
Ah, that's right.
Then there was Danny G Foundry,
Yeah. Okay.
and then
couldn't-
just Danny G.
Yeah. Underscores.
Why don't you put Danny GEE?
So
He,
I've tried
think
that.
I've tried
Yeah,
that.
I've tried that.
Danny G.
Yeah. I've tried that. There's some fuck
7
face has it.
E's. Fuck it, I replace the spaces with E's.
There you go.
And then people are like, Danny Gee? That's kind of
Yeah, I know. The first time someone did that, I'd be like, "Oh, fuck, dude."
Yeah.
Danny Gee.
How about just put Dan Gorman?
Just Dan.
No, Dan.
What's up, Dan?
Dan the Vans man.
I don't know. Dan. It don't work. Dan.
Vanny D.
I'm just gonna leave it. Fucking
Granny
leave it.
D. What about Granny D?
Okay, I could do that. We'll try that then. We'll try all those.
All right, whoever has Danny G's screen name, give it back to him, please.
Yeah, give me the fuck, man.
He'll cut you a check.
He'll cut you.
Get Rockford.
If your Instagram name is at Danny G hit up Danny G and he will cut you a check.
How about everybody go find whoever has Danny G
and get his phone.
Comment on that. Just comment on their shit and say, hey, we need this name. You got to relinquish it.
Yeah, he goes, just comment. I'm like, go get his fucking phone, dude.
Somebody tag Danny 7_G the thing, and then we'll just we'll let the internet take this.
Yeah, we'll hand this over to the
dude.
There will be a reward to whoever gets me Danny, just Danny _G.
Danny's cutting checks, everyone.
Or free vans.
I'll make it rain on you guys, man.
There we go. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool, man.
Love
Thank
the
you
shop. Love
us.
this town, man. It's fucking awesome.
Appreciate it.
What I've seen. All right, cool.
Later.
Man, that was a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed those dudes, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of their podcast, or at least their video podcast on YouTube, Night Moves. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. They've already had badass artists like Hot Dog and Carrie Hart and Big B and Danny G's on there quite a few times. I think if not all of them, but anyway, check them out. These dudes are rad. Also, check out our sponsors, Simpson Motorcycle Helmets on Instagram and SimpsonMotorcycleHelmets.com. Dream Rides John on Instagram and TeamDreamRides.com. Big Bear Choppers on Instagram and BigBearPerformance.com. Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram at PaintHuffer.com. Fast Life 12 for 10% off. Thundermax EFI on Instagram and ShopTeamMax.com. Lexan Moto and Lexan-Moto.com. Fast Life at checkout for 15% off. And last but not least, Boosted Brad on Instagram and boostedbrad.com. Offer code FASTLIFE for 5% off. And guess what? Justin Page, you got yourself a care package coming from Boosted Brad. So thank you for supporting our Patreon. And you guys, if you want to get on board with that, help support this podcast and potentially win some cool shit from some of these badass sponsors, check out our Patreon. Our homepage on our website, fastlifegarage.com, has a link to that. All you got to do is click it. You donate $1, donate $5, donate however much you feel comfortable with, and it automatically takes it out of your account once a month, which helps us continue to grow this podcast. If it's $1, that's $12 a year. We've got plenty of dudes helping us, and we're trying to give back as much as possible, as well as producing more podcasts per month. And this Patreon and the support of our sponsors is what helps keep money flowing into this and allowing me to travel, allowing me to buy all this shit for this fucking podcast, and just allowing to keep things rolling. So I appreciate everything you guys have done for us, and I'm really looking forward to rolling out all these podcasts we did while in California. So we'll see you back again on Monday with the one and only Danny G.